The Earth is very flat.
What's going on, everybody? It's Thursday, July 8th, 2021. This is Brandon, host of Brandon's Show. Hope everybody is having a good day out there. Shout out those in chat. We've got the Plain Truth, Gadget Inspector, Globe Thrusters, Page 42, Paul Cruikshank, and Flat for Life. What's up, Flat for Life? Flat Earth Matt, and Bill G taking the #1 spot. What's up, Bill? How is it going, guys? Sounds good. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate that. Plain Truth says, shout out to Adam Meekin. Indeed. Shout out Adam for the new intro. Thank you very much. Good work there. That song, I thought I might get sick of it real quick, but I like it. I like it a lot. I picked the song up, just so you know. Anyway, we got quite a few people in chat already, and I see everybody is lighting up, so I have no idea what they're talking about, but let's go find out. We're going to talk about that Challenger thing that I've been teasing for the last couple days, and take a look at a video put up by Level Earth Observer, and then maybe some other folks have some thoughts on that, because I thought it was pretty interesting.
You'll be at your cruising altitude. Like if you don't drop after a couple miles, you're fucking up there. No?
You're out in space already after about 3 to 4 to 5 miles.
No, you might need that might not be the best way to fly. I don't know.
I'm saying just to show that the jet's out in space, flying out in space now. Like take off, wait, boom, past 5 miles. Are you in space? No? Well, then we're on a flat plane. Tell me when you get to space by flying straight off.
The thing is, they don't know, Demok, they don't know if they're flying straight or not. How do you know if you're flying straight? The wind's blowing you around up there, you know what I mean? Like, how do you know?
Thing on the screen of the plane, it's like a thing that tells you whether you're flying level or not.
Level straight or level curved according to the Glovers?
Level in fucking reality, man. Along a flat water.
Well, I mean, we think that's curving. I mean, we think that's straight. They think it's curving.
They do.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They think that's curving.
Yeah, they have to show how straight lines curve. Yeah, I know.
I don't even use the word level anymore.
Nah, I don't
unless I'm like, yo,
horizontally straight, flat. What's level? I don't even know what that means.
They're just changing the definitions, the words as we go.
Before they can say we're wrong about not being a straight flat plane, they have to be able to demonstrate not doing such. So if they get the airplane close to the water and they're flying level to fucking human level, straight, flat, horizontal, they're flying it. They're doing great. Within 5 miles, they should be out.
No, they'd be up there a few feet, but it would take more miles to get up into crazy high if it's only 8 inches per mile squared.
I'm just saying they should be on their venture past the curve into space.
What's up, guys? How's it going live?
Hey, what's up, Brandon? How you doing?
Up? Not bad. How are you, Gio? Good. So I got something for us to talk about. Well, let me say who's in here right now. We've got Karin, Kentucky, D-Mock, Effie, self-evidently, Gio, Jeremy, Jin, Stu Unger, and the real Bob Dole. What's up, guys?
Hello.
What up?
Hey.
What up? So you guys are aware of the Challenger event that happened in the early 80s, I'm sure.
Oh, we were watching that on TV in elementary school, yeah.
Yeah.
One where it blew up and killed the people, allegedly?
Yeah.
The twins,
yeah. Well, there's a video put out
on the allegedly.
Right. Yeah, and let me just preface this with, if these folks actually died in this accident, rest in peace, God bless their souls, all that stuff. Feel very bad for the family, not trying to minimize the tragedy if it happened. But this is something that has been kicked around in flat earth and kind of space hoax community for quite a while, that this was actually faked. this event. And there was a video I saw the other day by Level Earth Observer. Are you guys familiar with his channel? No?
Heard of him.
No. Never heard of him.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well, he found a couple of video clips and juxtaposed them, and I thought it was really interesting, so I thought we'd take a look at it. Only thing is I can't share audio through here, so I don't know if anybody is at their computer where they can share this video in the Discord.
They claim to have pictures of these people, still alive. I'm wondering why we don't just run facial recognition on them. I don't know how that works, but can't you run it on a picture and be like, oh, this is the same person? Or
DNA. That's some kind of treason, isn't it? When you lie to the whole American public and they pay for you to do some stuff, and then you plan to fake a death, and there could be all kinds of implementations behind that, like insurance policy scams, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, that's got to be illegal in so many ways. Yeah.
I would think it would be illegal, but they make the rules up. They can change the rules however they want these days. But is anybody at their computer where they can play this video in Discord if I give them the link? No?
I could
Okay.
probably do that.
Oh, there you go.
Bob, you got it? Okay, here. I'm going to send you the link right here. And then maybe you play it and share it so the rest of us can see it, and I can share it with the audience at the same time. I just put it in your DMs. That way we can all hear the same thing at the same time.
Yeah, if it's the one, I think I saw you post it a couple days ago in the chat, and I did watch it. And I've seen some other comparisons, but that one, yeah, I'm looking forward to watching it again because it is just striking. Maybe I won't do a spoiler, I won't give it away, but yeah, it's like a dead giveaway.
Yeah, it's the best one I've seen for sure.
Can you not run facial recognition software on pictures, or does it not work with pictures? I thought that's.
I don't know. I know it's not an exact science. I know that, but that's a good question. I don't know if anybody's tried anything like that or not. Okay, Bob's sharing it now.
You line them up too. I mean, you can line up the pictures too with the people that you think they are too. I mean,
right.
Like superimposed. I don't know.
Is it showing full screen here for YouTube?
It's big enough for, it's good right now. Go ahead and hit play, and if everybody could just be quiet while it plays, watch Bob's screen.
Some of the claims made regarding the Challenger 86 disaster. That is, some of the astronauts are supposedly still alive to this day, and that they weren't on the actual space shuttle that blew up, and that they're living day-to-day lives, doing normal jobs. And one of the characters is a lady called Judith Resnick. We've got the Judith Resnick NASA astronaut here on our screen. And there's some claims made that Yale professor Judith Resnick is the very same person as the astronaut Judith Resnick, who supposedly was on the 86 Challenger disaster. So I'm going to look at some photographs, do a comparison, and watch two clips, videos, and just do a voice comparison as well. I'm not going to make any claims myself. I'm just going to look at some photography, the evidence, and listen to two clips and compare the voices. And I'll let you decide. But I do find the evidence and the stuff we're going to look at incredibly interesting and I think quite revealing. So let's have a look. Now this is a fairly recent image of Judith Resnick, Yale professor. And here's a compilation where I blended the astronaut with the Yale professor. So let's just have a look as these two images are blended together. Obviously there's a good couple of, well, it's probably over 20 years time difference between the two images. But there is a definite similarity there. The nose being one of them. And the features as well, quite similar. Eyebrows slightly different. Again, I'm not making any claims other than noting that they do look quite similar. Of course, there is an age gap between the two images. But yeah. Again, come to your own conclusions there. This is the astronaut, Judith Resnick, back in 86. And this is Judith Resnick, the Yale professor, about 10 years, maybe 15 years ago. Interesting. This is Judith Resnick, the Yale professor in more recent years. A couple of images. There's Judith Resnick, the astronaut from back in the day. Of course, the images we've seen. And a couple of comparison images. Obviously, it's an unusual name in itself.
Are we watching this thing? Or
And the features are very similar, I have to say. Very similar. Again, another comparison. And now let's look at some voice comparisons. One clip of the astronaut at the start, followed by a clip of the professor. And I have to say, they do sound incredibly similar. I'll play it a couple of times, it'll play on loop. Again, come to your own conclusions here.
Well, I too am glad to be here one more time, and I am hoping that the affliction that Steve Hawley had from the 41D mission specialist of the delays hasn't rubbed off on me, and I think the guys behind me are hoping that it hasn't also. So I live in New Haven, Connecticut, and therefore, since state courts are the central facet of adjudication in the United States, wanted to start with a 1784 courthouse in New London, Connecticut, that is still operating today. Well, I too am glad to be here one more time, and I am hoping that the affliction that Steve Hawley had from the 41D mission specialist of the delays hasn't rubbed off on me, and I think the guys behind me are hoping that it hasn't also. So I live in New Haven, Connecticut, and therefore, since state courts are the central facet of adjudication in the United States, wanted to start with a 1784 court.
Well,
exactly.
I've looked at some photographs and done a comparison. And listened to your voices, Judith Resnick, the professor, Judith Resnick, the astronaut, side by side. There's a hell of a lot of similarities. So I've got to ask, is that you, Judith?
That's it. That's good, Bob. Thanks, Bob. Perfect. Yeah. So what do you guys think? That was the first time I'd seen video clips of the two played back to back like that. And I thought that was pretty interesting. What did you guys think?
I'm convinced.
Is that all it took?
What's that, Bio?
I asked him if that's all it took. Well,
I mean, it's probably not just that. It's probably also the experience of knowing that NASA are a bunch of liars and lie about, pretty much anything that would suit their needs. Along with that, it seems pretty compelling that they would lie about something like that too. Why not?
Here's the rational argument. If this organization is so used to lying, and they're so used to lying to the world, and they're somewhat good at it, why would they take this person off of this thing, stage this huge event, but keep her real name and don't change anything about her physically and let her continue to do public work?
That's easy. There's two reasons. One, they didn't think that anyone would care or look into it. Two, they figured that nobody would believe that they would actually do that.
Yeah, and three, if I may just add, sorry to interrupt you, but they've also been getting away with lying for so many years. The moon landings, so they're very confident in what they do. Let's not forget, moon landings, Mars landings, satellites to Venus and the Voyagers, they've got away with it for years. So they're confident in what they can do now, where we are that gullible, you see. So,
and Bio, what I would add to you, man, is I agree with you. When I'm watching it, I'm thinking, like what you said, geez, they haven't even changed her name. Really? Are they that hiding in plain sight that they don't even bother to, if they're that good at it, why don't they do that? But at the same time, your default reaction of, is that all it took? That concerns me, because it's like I always say, do you guys think anything is a conspiracy? What a normal brain should think, oh my God, that could be that woman. That's what a normal brain would think. But your default is just to dismiss it and out of hand wavered away. That's what bothers me.
These evidences for astronauts that are supposedly have died and are still living have been debunked for about 15 years now. I remember way back in the day, the first couple years of YouTube, getting sucked into it. I was Hollow Earth. I was 9/11. I was astronauts didn't die. I saw the whole thing with the Asian dude, that black dude there. I've seen all these things, and they're all rational explanations where some of them will have a different name, but it just so happens that it's the dude's brother. Fuck, brothers look alike, and then after 10, 15, 20 years, shit, they share some similarities. Weird that brothers would do that. And then there's other examples. And then when you present someone, you present someone who happens to share the name with someone and who's a doppelganger. Fuck, man. There's 7 billion people on Earth. It's not like it's not gonna happen.
The thing is, those astronauts, they claim that there's two of them, Mr. Onizuka and the black guy. They claim they had twin brothers. When you look at their school history, and you go back and look at the family history, no twins were born.
It's not twins, just brothers. I can specifically remember the the black guy. It's not a twin situation. It's just a brother situation.
They said no. They said twin brothers. They said twin brothers is what they said. Twin brothers, because they had to look alike. They had to look alike. That was the thing. That was the strong thing. That was the main point. Twin brothers. And there were no twin brothers born to any of the two astronauts. Mr. Onizuka, who was born in Hawaii in the end, and he was a military man. That's how he ended up getting into this space thing. Okay, and his family lived in Japan. I checked it all. Mr. Onizuka did not have any twin. Not in any elementary school, junior high school, nothing. And twins are very famous. Very famous twins are. Wherever they are in the world.
Are twins famous? I mean, again, as a rational mind, are twins famous?
In the area they live in, yes. Not in the whole world, but in their communities, in their neighborhood, twins are fucking famous. I'll tell you that now without a doubt. And if you're a triplet or quadruplet, then you're even more famous.
I think I know what you mean. If you live in a town or a neighborhood and there's twins,
right.
You usually know them. People usually know the twins. It sticks in people's minds. I don't know that they're famous, but I know what you mean.
So unusual, you know. I mean, my first impact from the twins, I can remember them at elementary school even today, and I'm approaching 60. I can still see their faces, still see them, and I'm thinking, wow. And they wore the same clothes, and I thought, yeah, that's fucking amazing, you know.
That's actually, yeah, Gene, you're right. I had one set of twins in my primary school, and I can still remember them. In my high school, there were no twins, so there's twins are rare as well. They're So were they saying that there were two twins on the space shuttle crew? Is that what the story is?
Well, that's the claim. That's the claim that
so even statistically, the chance of that is pretty low. The chance of that is very low.
That's right. And when it came to the funerals, none of the twins attended the funeral.
Yeah, you're starting to get what coincidences. Too many coincidences.
Yeah,
but
does this not ring any bells, or is it just like, nah, it's all fine?
It does ring bells. I'd like to verify what Jin is claiming, because it's easy for Jin to be emotionally confident about it. But how about we verify those claims and we can investigate?
Sure, I agreed. Sure.
Yeah, Jin, do you have any sources for what you're saying? If you do, if you can dig something up, that'd be great. I do remember reading something like that too, but then again, I haven't spent too much time looking into this. I think it's interesting. And there does seem to be a lot of coincidences around this, but I haven't spent time actually digging in and going back to high school pictures and shit like that to try to figure out if this is true or not. What did you guys think about that? The voice similarities of the two video clips at the end. I thought not only were the voices very similar, the cadence and some of the mannerisms and speech patterns were very similar. Now, I don't know if they're from the same part of the country or what, but it seemed like an older version of the younger person, just from my first impressions.
Yeah, People actually have humans have a voice print in the same way that we have a fingerprint, and each person's voice print is unique and different. So it's interesting just on that level as well that the same person will have that exact same voice print. So if your ear is able to pick it up, and there's also, you can also do like voice print readings, with machinery to be able to actually look at the frequency. It'd be interesting to do that analysis, if somebody has that equipment on that as well.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
You sound a little muffled, though.
Okay. I don't know what's going on.
You sound like you got your mask on.
I don't have a mask. I'm just speaking right into the mic. I think there's something goofy going on.
Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with the mic, Bob.
Got a mask on then. Your mic is
your mic setting. Click off, click reset like default, and then go back to your regular mic setting.
Yeah, because your mic's got a mask on. It's right in the COVID. But anyway, Michael Smith, Professor Michael Smith of Wisconsin, he was challenged. He looks the same. He looks an older version of his young self, the professor.
There we go. Is that better?
Not really.
You're still no.
Oh boy.
I mean, we can hear what you're saying, but you're kind
of. Yeah, it's good enough, Bob. You're not too bad.
Yeah. Please talk anyway.
I tell you what, when we're talking about voices, I watched a clip yesterday of Bill Gates talking about vaccinations. I don't even know why I watched it, but if I closed my eyes, I would have sworn I was listening to Bob Dole. I think we should investigate that. Bob and Bill Gates could be the same man.
Okay. The funny thing is,
didn't mean to distract.
The more I listen to him, though, the more psychotic he sounds to me.
What I think about with this Judith Resnick thing, I mean, to me, it completely seems like, to me, the voice print, like hearing that is absolutely the same. It just resonates. It sounds.
Yeah, I'm with you on that 100%. I'm with you on that.
And I do think these people that do this stuff, they have. I mean, psychopathic people have something called duper's delight, which they often will. Which is something that they like when they trick people and fool people, they get some kind of a sociopath.
Isn't there like special? Hold on a second. Isn't there like a special thing where you can run voices through an analyzer to see if it's the same person? Like, don't they do that for like past situations or something? Like,
there is an app.
Why hasn't that been done?
There must be an app you can get, I'm sure. But the voice is the same, no doubt about it, man.
Yeah, that was done. I mean, not to take this into a different topic, but actually Paul McCartney, there's a whole thing that he was actually replaced with the current guy who's playing the original Paul McCartney role. And not to go on that it's a whole separate topic, but there were actually these German researchers that had heard about that, and then they tried to deny it. They tried to debunk it, and they used this voice print technology, and they were trying to debunk it. They thought it was false. And to their surprise, when they did the full analysis of the voice print, they found that they were completely different voice prints from the first Paul McCartney and then the guy that has replaced him. But that's a different topic. But yeah, it's just interesting that they did that.
Yeah, is that voice print, is that accepted as evidence in court? I don't know the scientific standing of that kind of.
Not in 1,000,000%, because you can algorithms have been met with people's voice. Like if you bow down the burning ring of fire, like if you can sound exactly like it, then it'll match.
You sounded like Johnny Cash just now.
That was me.
Burn.
Down the burning ring of fire.
The rings of fire.
But if we ran you saying that. If we ran you saying that through an analyzer or something, a voice analyzer, and then Johnny Cash's, I'm sure it wouldn't match,
But somebody got fined for it because they sounded just like him so much that it matched the algorithm, and they got fined, and they thought they were playing him on the YouTube, but the guy had to prove his voice.
Yeah, I don't know what that technology, like how accurate it is, meaning maybe you can tell if people maybe they can tell if people have different voice prints easier than they can tell if it's the same. You know what I mean? Like it might be harder to actually match the same versus figuring out that two people are different, something like that. But yeah, I don't know enough about the actual software and technologies and the different ones, in terms of how accurate it is.
just heard supposedly one guy was doing the Johnny Cash voice, and they shut his show down for a little bit, and then they had to put it back on because his voice actually matched the fucking Johnny Cash algorithm. It was with the song music too, so it all went together. Don't get me wrong. Now, if they played his voice only against Johnny Cash, there might be a difference.
Yeah.
Testing again. Does this sound better?
Yeah, that's good. There, Bob. Yeah.
Okay, I think I might have gotten a little bit of water in my mic part or something. I was curious, BioDual, like what the substance or what the content of those alleged debunks were. Because if it was it just somebody saying the line, "This one guy had a twin," so that's not him.
No.
Like, was that the content of the debunk?
I watched, like I said, it was a long time ago, and I watched debunks a long time ago. But what I found recently right now is just from Snopes, and it gives a really good rendition of the explanation of why this is all stupid.
Come on, man.
But
Snopes,
these things.
get out of here with this shit.
Hold on. Am I done?
Get
Am I
fucking
done?
real,
so
dude.
Here we go. So what I'm saying is, this has a lot of information that we can start from to investigate it. What we can do is, if Snopes is making these claims about what these people's careers are, these doppelgangers, my claim, we can investigate these things. Where it's like, okay, we can check date of births, we can check what they look like when they were younger and compare it to these other people. We can do all these things. This is just a starting board. Your starting board is a YouTube video that compares these voice comparisons. My starting point would be this Snopes thing because it has more information about each person. So we have different starting points, but it's worth investigating, of course.
I guess, but Snopes is a fucking piece of shit.
I'm not presenting Snopes as here. Believe me. Please believe me. This is my evidence. I'm saying this is giving more information in a way to investigate it further.
All right, fine, fair enough. Yeah, I think I have read this too. I can't remember what I thought of it.
It's just one of those things, like this Richard Scobie guy. He's a CEO or was a CEO, Cows and Trees, That means that he has to have a life. He has to have a progression into that role. If he was randomly placed in that role, it would be notable. These things would be documented in saying, whoa, this guy is the same name, and he just was placed as CEO? Weird. These
Are you
things would be
unaware
noted.
that they can create backstories and fake documents and all that stuff?
In the world of possibility, anything is possible.
Well, no,
You're right.
this
We
isn't
can
a
only
world of
work with the
possibility
evidence.
thing. This is like a normal operating procedures for espionage activities, isn't it? Let's say I want to place a guy in the Gambino
Witness
crime
protection
family.
program. Are you kidding me?
No,
yeah, like literally a system designed for that.
Yeah,
This is the kind of stuff that
keep the
pisses
same
me
name,
off,
you're right.
BioDuel, is when you act like something that is clearly not crazy is not possible. When you act like something isn't possible that is done on a regular basis.
I'm saying I only need the evidence. The evidence thus far shows that these people either have the same names, first and last, or they have similar names, or the names are completely different. Nothing is consistent. These people do have backstories. They have people who grew up with them and made statements. This, that, and the other. That's what the evidence is. We can say maybes. We can say maybes all day. I agree. Maybe this, maybe that. I only need the evidence.
They either have similar names or the same name or different names. That's all the categories, which means it doesn't matter which one they fall into. You don't buy it as evidence. So nothing would convince you that they have the same name. Well, that's just a coincidence. They have a similar name. Well, that's just coincidence. They have a different name. Well, look, they have a different name. So there's no reason.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that
ever heard of the CIA? What do the CIA people do when they show you they dress up like Medea's house and they get a guy and they put him in a fat woman's suit and make him an old lady and nobody knows the fat old lady neighbor is a guy that's a cop? And then when you look, then the fat old guy, lady, all supposedly died or moved out, but it was a CIA agent in a suit. I mean, what are we arguing about here?
Real quick, just look at Ronald McNair and Carl McNair. Let me know if they physically put a gap in Ronald McNair's teeth and then change his first name to Carl. Let me know that.
There's a lady in Canada who serial killed like a whole bunch of babies, right? They let her loose from here, put her in Canada, changed her name, and just let her go free. Why would they do that? Why would your great government do a weird thing like that? A lady that killed all kinds of babies and stuff, changed her name and let her go free somewhere else to go do more crazy fucking serial killing.
I don't know, Democ. I can give you a story and ask you questions as well. I just need evidence and I can form conclusions from the evidence.
If you said my government did it, I'm not going to be a goofball and say I don't believe you.
Right, but you don't require evidence so long as I say our government did a bad thing. You don't
Evidence
require
of a
evidence.
psychotic government that will feed you strychnine, will feed you your own waste, will feed you acid in the water supply. What are we talking about?
I'm asking a very specific question, Denmark.
Your government loves you.
If I start a story with the government and then I give an evil story, do you need evidence to believe it or no?
It's not my government. It's your government.
It doesn't matter. Would you believe it if I just said
I don't know who the government is. I've never
did
met
an
any
evil
of them.
thing? Would you believe it without evidence?
They are evil. Listen, trying to be a government is evil without evidence.
So you just can't answer a simple question. Can anyone
They're
answer that
evil.
question?
The government's evil. What do you want me to say?
I don't disagree with you, Demuck, but it's a specific question I'm asking.
What is the specific question? Ask it one more time.
Right. So Brandon, for you then, if I said the United States government and then I proceed to give an evil story, would you believe it without evidence?
No, but I certainly believe
no,
it's
not
possible.
100%. No.
All right, that's fair. That's
no, I
like
wouldn't either.
That's fine.
I wouldn't believe it 100% either, but still, I'm not going to say it's not possible right offhand. I'm going to say, let me look into it.
Right. I'm saying the same thing here. It's not impossible that they could do this. It's not impossible that they did do this. What I'm saying is I need the evidence. And what the evidence shows so far is that it's either doppelgangers with similar names or it's these people's brothers. And it's not far-fetched to think that brothers look like their brothers, especially after a long period of time. The evidence shows one direction, and I'm still not saying it's impossible.
Similar names and similar faces, though.
What would convince you?
But again, with the most distinct one is the McNair. Ronald McNair has straight teeth. They look fine, good for pictures. Carl McNair has a fat ass gap in his front two teeth. So it's one of those things. If you are going to continue with the conspiracy, exactly. If you're going to continue with the conspiracy, did NASA widen his teeth just to pass them off as someone else or whatever?
Yes. Retainers do that.
Right, exactly. But do you have the evidence for that? No. All I said is NASA did an evil thing, and you believe it without evidence.
Big Mama's house, Medea.
So I'm not even saying, I didn't show this to say I think this happened, just to be clear. I'm not saying that I believe that this is the case. I find this pretty compelling, this video evidence. What do you think about the similarities between the way these women speak in these two videos?
Oh yeah, they're pretty similar. Yeah, I have no problem with that. They are pretty similar, sure. I'm also not a professional analyst of voices, but my layman ears say, yeah, pretty similar, sure.
Well, none of us have applied any actual scientific analysis to the voice yet. But we do talk to people every day,
can all agree that it's similar.
You know, you can tell the difference between me and Jeremy or me and somebody else pretty easily. The other thing I find is not just the voice, the sound, it's the mannerisms and the cadence are similar too.
Yeah, sure.
If I didn't know what the subject was and you told me this was an older version of the other one, I would have no trouble believing that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, if there was no context and you said this younger person, does it look like this older person and sound like the older person, I'd be like, yeah, it's pretty similar, sure. Yeah.
Crit's here. What's up, everyone?
What's up?
Gio, I will fight you if you ever take out everyone again.
If you ever what again?
Gio here? The Gio. I'm just joking around.
What's up? Yeah, I'm here.
I'm just joking around, but like if you ever do at everyone again, like who's the guy who does that all the time?
I did it. I just tagged saying the show is live, and I
know, I'm just teasing, but the globalist guy who does at everyone, the Ruhif, right?
Okay.
If you pull a Ruhif one more time, I will fight you. I will fight you. Okay.
I didn't realize that Ruhif did that all the time. That's funny.
It's constant. Just like even if you just do like a server text search, like Ruhif mentions everyone. It's like hundreds of comments. You're like, seriously, dude. No one gives a shit. Okay. Direct your comment at the individual. Aim your message before you shoot. Okay.
One thing I was going to say about all of this with like it's one thing to have the same name as someone. Like I've actually Googled my name, you know, and seen some other people that have my same first and last name. Probably some of you guys may have tried that too or whatever. But they all look like totally different than me. You know, they're different ages and all that stuff. The fact that this woman like not only has the exact same first and last name, which is bizarre, and sounds exactly the same and looks, you know, so similar is like the statistics to get really.
That's what I'm saying. If it was just they just look similar, all right, that'd be one thing. If they just had the same voice, all right, that'd be one thing. If they just had the same name, that'd be. But when you put them all together, it's like, yo, how many coincidences can you believe in at once?
Yeah, but you're also not putting together the way she speaks, the way she uses her hands, and the way she throws her.
No, he said that. He said her cadence and her mannerisms. No, he said that.
Do any of them have jobs now that are significantly different than what their area of expertise supposedly was then?
Yeah, 100%.
No.
100%.
Yeah, they're different. Judith Resnick was an electrical engineer, and then Judith Resnick, Doppelganger, is a lawyer teaching at Yale, and apparently she was teaching at Yale during the death of the Challenger mission.
I heard they was teachers. It sounds like a teacher to me. It fits my bill.
Right, but one's a lawyer, one's an electrical engineer. Pretty far off.
I just know how the CIA works, and they're no different than Hollywood. Our first military base was an actual Hollywood base. It was a Hollywood studio. So I mean, what are we?
It's one of those things that these people, the people that we find that look like them and share names to some extent, these are all professionals. They're easily found people. It's not like it's some random person who's an elementary school teacher. These are all like professional lawyers. These are professors at Yale, Harvard. These things. We have a CEO. We have public.
Dude, you're bullshitting, dude. Okay, how many lifetimes? Like, how many lifetimes could I grant you, hypothetically, to get you to space? How many would it take?
Such a random thing to go to, Crit.
I'm just curious, though, because you were talking about that these people are lying to you, right? Like these actors and, you know, people on camera and, you know, like presenting the ball model to you. How many lifetimes would it take for you to be one of them?
I'll put you in space right now.
The same amount of lifetimes for you to build your mental health up. How about that?
See, right away, a deflection back to me.
Right now,
that's not the question.
I know, because we have a specific conversation
right now. All you need is a green screen.
There is. See, listen to Jeremy. He'll break it down for you to your education level.
Listen, all I need is a green screen, some wire-colored wires, and you're in fucking space, bro.
Why don't you do that, Jeremy? Do what you think would be.
That's all it takes.
All I think is the head of the CIA, and I can turn Biodual to Miss Biodual.
Yeah, right.
Jeremy, go ahead and fake space.
Right now.
Do what you think is effective.
Right now,
make
I
a video
can turn
and then
you
fake
into
it.
Thor and me to Iron Man, and we just defended Manhattan against interdimensional terrorists.
So it was a good conversation, but now Crit's here, so here we go.
Okay, you can make it seem like Crit's a problem. Why do you blame me for what you do?
Because there was a good conversation. Despite us disagreeing about something, there was a good conversation going, and now we're derailed because you want to take it somewhere random.
Crit's never been the problem. You want to know why I'm not the problem?
I know you don't think that you're the problem. I understand.
Okay, you want to do a poll? Can we do an impromptu poll?
I can give two shits about a poll, man. There was an effective discussion going on, and now we're derailed.
Biodual, why? I
don't require a poll to make that statement.
The majority of the people in this conversation would not see me as any kind of problem to anybody at any time.
That's awesome.
So why would
it's not a popularity contest.
Yeah, why would you make the claim?
Because it is true. Dumpster fires are fun to watch too, but there was an effective discussion going on.
It's only true inside your head.
Here we go. Now we move into psychology. Again, it was a good conversation.
Here thinks Crit is a funny, laughable guy they enjoy talking to, except for you. So who's the problem?
Because we had an effective discussion going on, but now it's a dumpster fire. Dumpster fires are still interesting to watch and experience, but that doesn't make a difference from the effective conversation we were having.
No, because you tried to make me the issue. If you make me the issue, I will flip your script.
Oh, here we go. You need to make the issue.
Let's move on.
Let's switch it back. What would it take
see how far we can bring this. We can see how far we can bring this if you want, Chris. I thought we were having a good discussion.
What would it take to convince you, Biodual? What would it take to convince you that those people might be actors? What would it take?
I think I would need a direct evidence of contrary claims, such as This Judith Resnick, if she wasn't teaching at Yale, I need evidence that she actually wasn't.
What about
What if
Buzz
we had
Aldrin saying
forensic
we didn't go
analysis?
there? Would that
Hold on,
work?
Crit. What if we
Would
had
Buzz,
forensic? What if
Jeremy,
we
I
had
got this one.
Hold on, Crit.
Buzz
hold on a
Aldrin
second.
said on camera we didn't go to the moon.
All right,
Would that
you
be
got
enough
it.
for you?
See, Jeremy agrees. We know what's going
Okay,
on.
go ahead, Jeremy. I'm sorry if I thought I came in hot, but go ahead, Jeremy. I got a quote. I got audio of Buzz Aldrin saying we didn't go
He
to the moon.
says sorry, but he continues. Go ahead, Jeremy.
What if we had forensic, audio analysis of both their voices and it matched? Would that do it for you?
It would be good evidence for it. Sure. I don't know if that would convince me, but it would be good evidence. I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to dispute it.
Well,
I don't know. I've never looked into it.
Video.
Yeah, but you
I
do.
posted a video a few minutes ago.
The odds, Valdul. The odds of a random lady actually meeting up with another random lady like that? No.
Well, I think what I mentioned earlier, I think what I said is likely the case, even though I haven't looked into the details of it. It's more just my sense of it. I think that in that technology, it's easier to see that they're different voice prints, like that they're grammatically different. It's easier to do that than it is to actually match them as the same. So I think that's likely the case. So it's probably difficult to get the exact match, but to tell that two people are totally different is easier to do.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys a question. I'm just trying to think through how this would go down and why these people would still be out there under the same name if this is what happened. And the only thing I can think of is it was unexpected, right? These people, they weren't on the rocket to begin with. They shot this rocket up. It was supposed to do whatever it is they always do with these rockets, right? And this one exploded. Now you've got this rocket who was supposed to have these 7 people on it who clearly would be dead after that, right? I mean, there's no way they're looking at that wreckage and going, "Oh no, we can play this off like they still lived," right?
Right, but what would exist?
So what would you have to do at that point? What do you do with these 7 people?
Right, the people that you're supposed to pick up a little while later on camera from some other point where they allegedly landed. Well, now you're not doing that part. They're supposed to be gone.
All right. So
no, they don't land. The object. Listen, hold on. They pulled the switcheroo. Remember when they show you? Remember when they show you the rocket launching pad and they got those little tubes that you go in case of emergency, you go down and you end up in this little cement room?
Pretty sure I said allegedly land.
Oh,
for
okay.
a reason.
Well, yeah, they blow up. I didn't hear that part. I'm sorry. So they blow up, right? The actual container that has no one in it, and there's nothing in that, and that does what it's doing, and it goes in the wrecks, and they take that to the fucking junkyard or whoopie-doo. They might act like ceremonial or some dumb shit, but there's nothing there if it's blew up, right? So the real people slide down that little cord. They go down the little thing. They land in that one little spot, and they go the fuck off somewhere, and no one ever sees them except the people tell them to come on.
No, but I'm saying now that this is blown up, they're not going to have that scene where they get picked up and talk about what it was like to go to space and all that. But they've still got these 7 people who are alive, but are supposed to be dead. What does the government, what does NASA, if they're faking this thing, do with these people?
Nothing.
They've got families. They've got lives. What do? Put them into witness protection? Make them keep...
Brandon, hey, Brandon, I got this, right? No, they don't. They don't really.
No, they're in witness protection, but they're still living that way. They just don't deny it. They're just like, I'm me. I'm not that person. And they just stick to that. Well,
okay, I got an answer that will connect with Brandon, too. So right out of high school, I joined the military. I was in for about 10 years. I exited the military, kind of picked up a secondary career, went to GI Bill. I didn't have a whole lot going on. I lived at my sister's house for a while. It would be very easy to make me disappear. Now factor in all the astronauts are high-grade military officers. They bought into the program more than I did. So it'd be easy to say, hey, check this out, right? Just don't talk to the sister or the brother that you don't really like anyway. Here's your new identity, your new home in a different fucking state. before, and this is all before social media. Before Facebook, before I'm trying to blank now. What happened? MySpace. Before MySpace, people could move to the next town and not even know that someone was gone. And you're gonna try to make it pretend like in the 1980s you couldn't make 6 people disappear? Like,
I mean, if
really?
if the internet had
What's that, Jeremy?
You cut out, Jeremy.
Yeah, Jeremy cut out. I want to interrupt him, that's why I stopped talking too. He said something about the internet.
I'm with Crit. It would be easier back in the past.
Yeah, okay. Like everyone knows, Crit's an old man. Okay, I have trouble interfacing with technology. In the 80s
hold on,
and
real
shit,
quick.
you had to hire a private investigator to figure out where someone went.
Yeah,
Okay?
real quick. Before
Okay, go
the
ahead.
internet, real quick. Before the internet, this would have went by unnoticed. Nobody would ever even put this together or anything. You know what I mean? These people would have went and lived their whole lives without anyone even realizing.
Right. That is true. I would agree. That would be, yeah, back then, exactly. Well, the other thing, I mean, Brandon, like you were saying, like, did the rocket explode by mistake, and then they had to figure out how to cover it up, or was the rocket explosion purposeful, meaning like getting into the depths of like, the idea of the conspiracy world in terms of what they could be doing. Like, did they plan the rocket to explode as a psychological operation, in the first place? And then did they also plan like, hey, let's just be crazy for the duper's delight and actually have these, the guys that are playing that role also just go back in the world with the exact same names? Like, was all of that planned, or did they have to, cover it up at some point?
Yeah, it could have been a pre-planned thing. Yeah, I kind of think you guys are right, because this happened in what, 84, 86, something like that? Can't remember exactly what year.
I don't
Our
remember.
military, our military and the Hollywood go hand in hand.
It's always been that way, ever since World War II.
The specialists, the best specialists in the production of the movies, work for the government first, and then when they want to retire or not, when the government's done, like they got somebody better, they move down to Hollywood, or they do Hollywood too.
Well, the other thing it makes me think about is that, if these guys are already like astronauts, and they obviously are already within whatever club of these people, like maybe they're not at the highest level of the secret societies, but they're somewhere in there, to where if they were to then go be a professor at a college, like what is their agent role there? You know what I mean? Like, what are they doing there? Are they pushing some agenda?
CIA bitch. They're always working for the CIA. Kind of all of us are, even right now. As we speak, the things we talk about, I mean, like if you're live and shit like that, like even if you're not live, this is somewhere, going somewhere, being on something. And it's a federal broadcasted communicating system that we're talking on. So the FBI they get it all.
Here, I got something real quick. Carnivore, he's in VC right now. I know it's not a super chat, but he asked a question. Isn't worded very well. Hey, Carnivore, can you open your mic and ask it? Carnivore, are you there? It appears like you asked, can someone in the 1980s just disappear? I'm not really sure exactly how you're wording this here, because if you remember, the Challenger did like a competition. Oh, he's got no mic. Okay, no problem. Okay, so if I'm wrong, if I got it wrong, your question to me was, could top tier astronauts connected just disappear? Right? Yes, dude. This happens every day. Okay, whistleblowers, they get witness protection programs. Okay, people hide from the mob. Okay, like I'm not sure how old you are, but when I was a young man, it was a big deal when you found someone who provides state's evidence. Was like the kind of like the joke. They'd be like, "Hey, where have you been today, Crit?" Not I mean, they would ask me my real name. I said, "Oh, I provided state's evidence." It was kind of like a funny joke that you're laying low, or just kind of like relaxing at home. You can make anybody disappear at any time for any reason, And for you to deny that, it almost seems like you're being willfully ignorant. I mean, if someone wants to challenge that, present it, please.
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
So
go ahead.
it's
What do you
not
got?
just it's not just like, let's follow the claim. It's not just that they disappeared. It's that they disappeared. They didn't change their names, or if they did, it was very minor, and then they became public figures in one way or another. That is what the claim is. Not just disappeared. I think it is easy to make people disappear one way or another, but it's not that they're disappearing. They are in the public eye in one way or another. These professors teaching at these prestigious schools, a CEO of a company in Chicago, they're not just gone. They're reappearing, seemingly with the same name.
Because no one followed. Okay, I got this. D-Mark, I got this. Okay, because at the time, no one followed up with anything the government claimed. No one cared. At the same time the Challenger exploded, I want to let you know. Look up Iran-Contra. The federal government was selling weapons to Iran so they could funnel them to Israel so they could fight Egypt. And you're going to make it sound like somehow people just couldn't filter through that system and get some sort of blowback or some sort of payback on that?
I mean, I don't know what that has to do with anything. What my response would just be, look up the lawyer Judith Resnick and what she was doing in 1986.
Bio-do. Okay. What I'm saying is you make it seem like somehow the federal government was impeachable in the 1980s.
Did I say that? Have I said that this claim is impossible? Have I ever said that?
Okay, right now, the pilot of the Challenger, could they have said, check this out, we give you a job at the University of Wisconsin and just pretend like you died and no one will care? You think that's possible?
You got to think about that claim, man. You got to think about that claim. I'm not saying it's impossible, and I'm not saying that it didn't happen. What I'm saying is, let's follow that claim. Let's follow that claim that someone who was a child at some point, had an upbringing, had family friends, had this, that, and the other, and then they go to school, they become a pilot, maybe the military, whatever his background is. They go through this whole life the way that they are, and then the claim would be that he wasn't even on that mission, that the shuttle explodes, then NASA or whoever, CIA, I don't give a fuck who, then someone comes to him and says, hey, you're going to abandon your entire life from before, and you're going to go to Wisconsin and teach whatever it is that you teach, but you're going to keep your same name, and you're going to have a different life. That is the claim, Crit.
I can show you a real-world example of this. You've got M. Scott Screech. His dad was a high-grade military officer who took an oath to protect free speech. Protected with his life multiple times. High-grade military officer. And now he runs the biggest anti-free speech Discord server ever.
And there we go.
Dude, just a lot of drama and side stories and just derailing, Crit. I got to be honest.
Look how quickly you can connect it. One generation, you go from absolute free speech, I will give my life to defend your right to say it, to the son who will silence free speech by any means possible.
I don't.
And you make it.
Yeah,
you make it seem like it's not.
I don't know what that has to do with the subject.
What Bio's saying,
I'm not sure that's a good example there, Crit.
Yeah, what Bio's saying has got legs. Why would you keep your same name? And yeah, sure, if you're going to go and run a corner store in a country town, maybe you get away with it. But to be a professor at a university with the same name is a pretty daft plan if you're trying to hide somebody who allegedly blew up in a space accident.
Yeah,
I just think both sides are a bit wobbly. That's all.
You know how they put
I think
the
that's a really good point. That's what I'm saying. That's why I kind of took us down that path of, okay, so this happens. Now, what do you do with those 7 people? So yeah, you could send them off into like a witness protection thing where they change their name, change their whole life, disappear, no one ever sees them again. Or you
hide
could
them in plain view.
Or you could hide them in plain view, and just the plan would be deny. You know, you're your twin brother. You're Judith Resnick from Ohio, or I don't know how that would go down. Even that one seems a little too on the face to keep the same name as the person before, but a different background. That one does seem pretty far out there.
Yeah, hide them in plain view.
I saw a video a couple years ago I forget
Seriously.
which.
Mike Smith. You can't hide a Mike Smith in plain view. You've got some problems. You literally some problems. Michael Smith. You can't hide like. Come on,
I'm
Brandon.
related to a
Seriously.
Michael Smith.
We're not
You
talking
can't-
about
like,
Michael
Brandon,
Smith. Are we? Is
You
Michael
can't
Smith one
hide
of
a
the
Michael Smith in plain view.
Well, a whole
Then
bunch of
you
Mike
are
Smiths.
retarded. Actually
I mean, that's
retarded.
one of the most common first names, most common last names. So
Yeah, seriously. If you can't take a Michael Smith and hide them right in front of your face,
I agree that's a common
you
name.
can't hide anybody.
What does
at
that have to
point.
do with it? Was there one named Michael Smith?
yeah,
Yeah.
Michael J. Smith. Yeah,
Oh.
but the problem is still is that
the
he's
captain,
he's
right?
still a public figure as a professor, though. That's the
Yeah,
thing. So
but
it's
Well,
not
you say
just hiding
public
the name,
figure.
it's hiding
What that
the
means to
figure.
me is like politician or someone who you would see on TV on a regular basis. I think you're just talking about
the way that I'm describing it is I would describe a teacher as a public figure in the sense that as a layman, not in that position, I probably interact with physically like 30 people in a day, maybe less than 10 on most days. But these people are interacting with, how many hundreds of people in their classes, and then how often is there rollover between each semester, things like that. They're interacting with thousands of people throughout their career. So it's not like they are like, someone said at a gas station where it's like, whatever. These people are interacting with thousands of people and generations, apparently, because it's 40 years throughout their entire career. So they are public figures in a sense, and the information for these people are public information.
Yeah, but what are you going to make these
I-
people do? Are you going to make them these professionals who were astronauts and were high up if you're faking this in what is an intelligence agencies essentially? You're going to make these people go live a life of working at a gas station or
college.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, because then your secret's not revealed. Like if you are this big government agency, and of course you can claim they're stupid or a duper's delight. You can claim those things. I understand, but let's assume that these people are smart, even with evil intent. They are smart to try these things, right? So if they are this smart, again, why would they keep the same name? Why would they put them in positions to interact with thousands of people all the time? Why would you ever do that? It doesn't have to be a gas station.
Dude, you
it could be
Hold on,
something else.
hold on, guys.
But these people are interacting with thousands upon thousands of people, and then you have a CEO running a company as well. So it's like these people are in plain sight. They really are.
Yeah, exactly. That's where you hide people in the information age. You hide them in plain sight.
Yeah, but what about who's he teaching new people? He's not teaching old people that would have saw something. He's teaching people that could care less and never saw it, never knew about it, don't have any inquiries on it at all, actually. So if you are teaching some people, that wouldn't matter. And
but the claim with Judith Redzinski is that she was teaching at Yale during that explosion. So she was teaching people at that time, of course.
So what's that mean? You never watched a movie while the actor was sitting there while you watched the preview of the movie? Is that so hard to fucking comprehend?
Again,
even
these
more
things.
so,
I understand the
they told you that
claim.
O-rings-
I'm just saying.
They told you the explosion happened because faulty O-rings. Does that even make sense to you?
Yes, because I've had O-rings bust on an F-15, and I've had shit not explode in a fiery fireball, but I've had parts bust open because of them. Yeah.
At the same time, they tell you the same 8 O-rings have operated for 16 years on the ISS. And that makes sense to you.
An O-ring.
Crit, we've had O-rings go bad in just a few days. We've had O-rings last for fucking ever, and you open it up, it's crusty, but it was working. These things happen. It's just mechanical shit. Sometimes it's
whatever. Hold on. I got follow up. Then you ask the actor not, how would you fix a problem if you had a problem? He tells you, I don't know. He has no clue. Don Patet. You would just do some sort of weird.
When you have a leak, you have a leak. He's sorry to cut. He goes, what happens when you have a leak? Well, when you have a leak, you have a leak. He said, just like that.
An O-ring? What does an O-ring got to do with anything? So listen, at the Grammys, when you watch the actors on stage, they show them in the movie, during the movie, while the movie's behind them, while they're on stage. How's that happening? Whoa.
Can I say something quick on this?
Yeah,
Hello?
Go ahead, Brian.
Just very quick. Look, I don't care about this at all, but you might hear my cat meowing in the background. But if I was going to try and make this situation happen to cover something up, I would have a professor from Wisconsin, from a university in Wisconsin, pretend to be an engineer and to pretend to die, but he was always just a professor in Wisconsin. That's the way I would do it.
So the backstories were actually okay. So the real lives were the ones that they're living now, and the what they were pretending to be when they were astronauts was actually the cover story. Is that what you're saying, Brian?
Sorry, I just caught both.
So in that view, would it be sort of like trying to put your mind into the idea of the conspirators? Let's say, would they think, let's test it out, see if we can pull these several different people that are professors, basically have them die on this huge Challenger explosion, and then even though they're just still professors at the college, and see if anyone notices. There's like a social experiment.
Well, I don't know if it's a social experiment, but that way makes a lot more sense to me. So I recruit 7 people to take part in this Challenger mission, right?
Take it.
And I give those people fake public backgrounds. And those are the ones we know of through NASA, and they're actually living these other lives. So when they die in this, when they appear to die in this accident, they just go back to living their lives and deny that they were this other person. And of course, there's records of their lives before that. Of course, she was a teacher at Yale. That's what she really was. They were just using her for this fake persona.
Like seriously, like Biodual, right? The biggest globe head here. If I was in a position of power to offer you could die for science. I'll take your real world identity. Say you landed on Mars, but due to X, Y, and Z, you didn't make it. And people will think of you as some sort of hero. You get to live out the rest of your life, no problems, because no one's going to research anything I said. You're going to tell me you wouldn't take that deal?
No, of course not, Crit.
Does that make more sense?
You will lie for any reason at any time.
That's your claim, but I wouldn't. I have a fucking life. I have a family.
Dude,
I enjoy interacting with my family. I enjoy interacting with my friends, Chris. I enjoy being in this Discord arguing with you.
Lied about me.
I would not give that up.
Dude, you've lied about me for no reason whatsoever.
All right.
Come
on, Crit, please. Let's just keep the drama out of it.
Yeah, I'll drop it down the peg.
No, it's cool, but so Biodual, does the way that I just described make more sense to you, that the NASA public personas were actually the fake ones, and the people that we're finding that are these apparent doppelgangers and twins or whatever, yeah, you can find details about their previous lives because that's who they really were.
Whichever the fake life is, there are still evidences for both backstories. For the professors that are currently living and for the space nuts that died, there are backstories to both. So pick whichever one you think is fake. It doesn't change that the evidence exists for both backstories.
So you've looked at the evidence for the Judith Resnick that died in the Challenger disaster, and
I haven't went into detail. I've been going into detail about this McNair person because that seems the most apparent, where it is his brother. But there's documentation of the brothers growing up together, that they had a life together, and then each one, the one that died has a daughter. So it's one of those things, like, you're not just talking about that person, you're talking about from a previous life.
Okay.
From that fake life, there is a daughter.
Cut the shit right there.
Hold on,
right?
There is a daughter, and then what you have to say is that she either thinks her dad died or she's in on it too. But as starting from as a child, then there's these reports of, her dad is actually alive, but now he's got a gap in his teeth. Blah blah blah. You have to believe all these claims in order for it to stick.
Hold on, Jim. Yeah.
I mean, that was it. You have to believe all those claims for it to exist.
What's the chances of having a biological twin in America? What's the percentage of that?
I haven't seen any documentation that there are twin brothers. What I've seen so far is that, especially for McNair, it was the little brother that died, and the older brother is alive today with a gap in his tooth.
Okay, sure, right? So what's the chances of biological brothers, twin or otherwise, looking almost identical to themselves?
What, looking similar?
No, identical. Absolutely.
I don't make that claim that they look identical. I just brought up the point of gap in his
tooth. Look at their photos; they're the same person.
If you look at the teeth, man, it's a gap in their tooth. You want to look over other things? They're not identical. They are similar because brothers from the same mom and dad generally look very similar, obviously.
So
And especially when you
space
separate
flight.
30, 40 years from it, yeah, of course they look similar.
Okay, so you got a space flight with people on the flight who have identical twins.
No one said it. Well, I mean, people said identical twins. I haven't found evidence that anyone says identical
Well, just
twins.
hypothetically, right? Just if you a thought experiment, if you will.
Yeah, that's fine. Sure. So,
Okay,
thought experiment, identical twins, go.
So you've got a space flight with identical twins on it. 7 people. Are you following so far?
Yeah. So there's 7 sets of twins, and each one from each set is on the space shuttle.
Two, just 2.
Oh, just 2. Okay.
Yeah. What's the chances of that? Is the chances 100% or is the chances bullshit? Which one?
There's 2 chances. It's 100% chance that it could happen. There's a 100% chance that it isn't true. It's all possible. I've never said anything is impossible yet.
Leaving out, aren't there other sets of twins that are like right now that we can like one guy was supposed to be in the ISS and like he was saw in like a store.
I'm
And
not
that was
sure about
supposed to be.
I gotta tell you, looking at this picture here, this comparison between the person that was on the Challenger and the supposed doppelganger or brother or sister, it is kind of strange that they all have this person who looks so similar to them. I mean, it seems like a lot of coincidences.
I would go to challenge each and every person that thinks that it's that it is true that the entire thing was faked. I challenge you to really take a weekend or take a day and Google your own name and try to genuinely look for someone who looks like you. And you don't have to post results here, but genuinely try to see how many or if you could find someone that looks like you with even a similar name, and see what you come up with. Because I've done it, and I've found one person he's not famous, but he's like a YouTube person who's been doing it for like 10 years. Found that one, and then someone similar. Some people say I look like Seth Rogen, but it's one person for sure I have found, same exact name, who looks like me. So I think it's just a lack of trying from people. I think you can find almost any name.
Okay, that's interesting. True.
No,
so if we can find
true.
someone on the internet that has a similar name to us or the same name that looks like us,
especially Michael Smith.
I don't know if that's too convincing, but let me ask another question. Does it even matter? I mean, is there any way we could even prove this one way or the other?
The facial recognition and voice, the voice print thing work.
Yeah, I don't know how you could definitively prove either way.
Fake.
It's like a Rorschach test, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
You look at this thing, and depending on which side you come on, I've never heard a Glober say, "Yeah, I agree. That looks like it was faked." And I've never, well, maybe I've heard flat earthers say it wasn't faked. I can't think of one though.
I think what would be required is like we'd have to agree on some type of leaked document that explicitly says it one way or another, where we don't dispute that it's an official document, we don't dispute that it was accidentally leaked, and then we would accept the information. Maybe that's the only way, but other than that, I don't think that we can definitively do anything.
Yeah.
Their bodies were found. Like, that's definitive proof.
What's that, Naps?
Hey,
Their
Naps.
bodies were found.
No, the bodies were not found.
They were.
No, they weren't.
The ship, water.
Even if the bodies were found, even if
the bodies were not found,
how hard do you
no bodies were found.
How hard do you think it is to get a body? I can get you a toe right now.
That's stupid, Jeremy.
That was pretty funny, Jeremy.
I got that.
You want a toe? I know a toe guy. Come on.
I get you a toe.
I know a toe guy.
Hey, Naps.
Anybody want to buy a toe?
Hey, listen, I got something important to say. Naps, look up the Columbia disaster, the second space shuttle that exploded. They tried to pretend they found human hair. The NASA employee actually got prosecuted for this. He said he found a helmet.
Where are they getting the bodies?
No,
Where are they getting these fake
let him
bodies
finish,
from
Naps.
to do all
Now,
Let him
seriously,
finish
look
what
up
he
the
said.
Columbia disaster. There's multiple prosecutions that ended in jail time. People actually went to prison for this.
For what?
They tried to sell relics from Colombia that had human body parts on them. It turned out they weren't human body parts. It was just supposedly quote unquote components. Like one of them showed like hair inside the helmet, but it wasn't human hair.
Right. So this wasn't a NASA thing. It was some dude trying to make money off a shitty
Yeah.
situation, right?
Yeah, it was. And he got
Right.
prosecuted for it.
Yeah. Good. Good. I hope
Okay,
he's still
so it
there. Yeah.
wasn't that.
Yeah.
There was no body was found. No one's body was found.
There were found. They were
No, they
found.
weren't. They weren't bodies found.
Right.
Well, hold
the
on
end
a
of the day,
minute.
Okay,
but this
you
is
can
it
say
right here.
What makes you think there's
you can
bodies
say
found?
they haven't, but it doesn't change anything.
Right, and
Well, you
that's
saying
why
there
when I
was.
said it won't, I don't think anything definitive will be presented, because whatever can be presented for the claim that it was real, I don't think would be accepted, because it'll be, you know, this kind of conversation. And then the same way that if there was evidence of it being fake, I don't know that people that subscribe to it would accept it. I don't think that there is anything definitive that could go either way.
Right. Yeah, I don't either,
Hey,
because
don't
like
you guys
Naps,
know,
your
I mean,
point, they found the bodies. Yeah, they said they found the bodies, but I mean, do you have any evidence that they actually found these bodies?
Hey,
Well,
hey,
the families,
the
the
real quick.
families had to claim the bodies, so of course, like
Check
where
this
are they
out, you
getting
guys,
dead
right?
bodies from and putting it in the cab?
If the whole thing's not
Like,
a
that makes
lie,
no sense.
though, Naps, that's the point.
Oh my
Because
god.
we all know there's a huge
Okay.
shortage
I
of
know.
dead bodies all the time.
You can get
If
a
they
dead body
faked
right
it,
now. I
they
mean,
would lie
Okay.
about the bodies, right?
Hey,
So
you guys,
there's
you
nothing
guys
they
check
can
this
do to
out.
prove it to you because you're gonna always think it's fake. So there's
No,
like
that's not what I'm saying at all.
like
That's not what
What you just said was fake.
I'm not saying it's fake. This is what I'm saying. I'm saying they're lying to you. I'm telling you the story
See,
does
no
not.
matter what they say or anyone says to you, you're gonna say it's a lie. So
No,
it
but
can
I'll
never
tell
be
you
proven
why. I can justify why I
I
say
know
that.
why.
to you all.
Because once they supposedly send people up there
So the
doing
conversation is
supposed
just going in
research, a
circles.
scientist, an astronaut, a biologist, and all this other shit, they have to show you the results. Then they have to send other stuff. Then they have to show live stuff. Then they have to show more results. And when you can't even when you can't produce these results and you can't produce this shit live on the moon and anything really happening, what else do
Okay,
you do?
call all of them liars.
When
You're
you
a
can't make it to the moon,
Call
what
the
do you do,
family
Naps?
liars too.
you're a
So
secret
when you
organization.
can't make it to the
fake
moon, what do? You fake it, right? Fake it till you
You're-
can make it.
Demok, nothing you say even holds weight after
When you
your
can't
word.
go to the moon, what are you doing then?
Okay.
Anyway,
You don't
Now,
feel
does
the
anything I
gravity of
say
what he's
holds weight?
saying? She
Multiple
doesn't feel the
times.
gravity of what you're saying, Dimok.
What? No, I said what about the guy on the ISS that's got a twin now too? What about all these twins?
anybody.
Yeah, I know, but how many of these
Real
twins?
quick.
Thing that
How many
everyone
of the
has a twin in the world.
right? How many of these twin claims have been
You
confirmed?
shut up, dude.
No twin claim has been confirmed yet. So it
Shut
sounds
up.
like a lot of twins,
You're just
but we
shooting your
haven't
mouth
confirmed
off.
any of them yet.
Naps, have I ever told you bullshit once? Like anytime we mean you have talked like kind of person to person.
Yeah, you have.
What have I told you? That was bullshit. Like all the AMP videos I sent you, have they been bullshit?
Yeah, like the caveman thing was bullshit.
Which one was? I'm sorry. You
Like
said
the
one.
caveman thing was bullshit.
Okay, the cave.
So
Okay,
yes.
okay, I accept that. Okay, of the dozens of videos I sent you, only one was bullshit because I was trying to have fun, just to lighten the mood. Okay. So now you've got some dude who's talking to me in chat, posting questions to me.
I like.
No, listen, Naps, check this out, right? You got a dude who says he can't operate his microphone, even though his camera comes with the microphone. What would you think about that? I'm sorry.
Why is this about this, Crit, man?
His
Fuck.
cell phone comes with the microphone. He can't even turn it on.
About?
Can we just get back to the conversation? Fuck, man.
Yeah, the conversation is about who do you trust. Do you trust some rando on the internet, or do you trust somebody who's being real with you?
I don't fucking know, Crit. So when it comes to this mission in '86 that exploded, I'm trying to wonder what kind of benefit is there. So in my mind, if this claim is true, I have to think that if they're going to explode it, it's for some reason like they can't go to space, so they do this instead. But it would be cost effective to not do this and just continue to fake it with 20-year technology. Continue to fake it, don't explode it, and with it exploding, you lose credibility with the public where you're getting funded from. So an explosion only hurts you.
Check this out. The official propaganda was
Your mic,
they wouldn't
Brian.
let the
Your mic sounds really low.
Yeah, hold on.
Do the thing.
Okay, hold on.
Kind of.
We can hardly hear you, Brian.
All right. Well, he's figuring that out.
Okay, here,
Biodual. That
okay,
assumes
listen.
that it was done on purpose, that they exploded it on purpose.
Okay, listen.
No. The official propaganda was this, man. I hope my mic's a little bit better, but they wouldn't let them open the capsule. They had the investigators there, and they wouldn't let the police or any of them. They wouldn't let the investigators open the capsule, and because they thought some of them might still be alive. So besides whether they're in there or not, so the controversy going on was what are they hiding? You know, were some of the people alive? You know, or were they alive when they hit the water? Because judging by the radio context, anyway, they were hiding all that. Like there was a whole controversy going on in the news and all that shit. Pissed off, you know, because they wouldn't let them open the capsule when they retrieved it. They wouldn't even let nobody open it. So they were saying there could have been people alive in there or whatnot. You know, it's crazy.
They can't survive that, Brian. They knew they would.
No. Well, you haven't heard. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you because you obviously haven't heard what I'm talking about. This was what was going on in the news at the time.
I knew it.
Right, but we're just speculating about that part, though, right? Like we can agree that they wanted to get in there, someone stopped them, and they didn't go in there. But the rest of it, that's speculation, right?
They never could have guessed it, the potential of nobody being in there. But
Right.
they thought that the people were still alive, you know, and it was just a whole dumbass propaganda. Just if they'd have known that nobody goes up in them rockets, then it would have been easy. It'd have been easy to predict.
No.
Where do you come out down on this thing, Brian? Do you think that this was a psychological operation of some kind, like they fucked up and blew this rocket up on
whether
accident,
it was
or
or not,
do you think it's just a coincidence?
whether it was or not, you know, I don't buy half the shit they say, if any at all.
See, there's no point then.
What you see, somebody's holding a microphone, and then they go to do a flip, and their wire gets hung in midair, supposed to be in zero gravity, and the wire literally in midair wraps around the wire that you can't even see, and then you try and show it to people, saying, "Look at this, man." You know, example here, this wire is wrapping around nothing at all, doing a 180 degree turn around something that's invisible and supposed to be in zero gravity, and you got people defending it. And then I start asking the question, why are they defending this obvious bullshit, man? Then I don't know where to go with it after that, man. It's confusing. Like, are they seeing something different than me? Are they retarded? What's going on?
It all depends on if you buy the story that NASA's telling you. You know, you can come up with any plausible excuse you want. You can explain everything away, and they have the excuses or the reasons ready-made for you. Oh,
they haven't explained that one yet.
As many rational explanations for everything, there are just as many, if not more, conspiracy theories behind them.
Wait, does anybody know? Do y'all know the one I'm referring to?
No, well,
The
hold
one
on.
with
hold
the
on.
lady with
Biodu,
the blonde
why is
hair?
that? Biodu, why is that? Be honest.
I'm not sure. I think.
Because okay, hold on. I'll tell you why
go
then.
ahead.
If you're not
you
sure.
don't ask me if you're going to tell me. Go ahead.
No, because you told me you're not sure. I hope we have reached some point of agreement here.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Because the government lies to you all the fucking time. Everything the government says, there's multiple layers of bullshit before you even get to the truth. And then when you get to the truth, they pretend like it's not even true. So you pretend like, why would people question the government? There's no reason not to question the government. None.
I've never said don't question the government. I question the government quite often. I don't have an extreme questioning. I do question it.
Okay,
but I don't go down the rabbit holes anymore.
In my state, 17 veterans died because they were on a secret wait list to get VA healthcare. You try to pretend you want to tell me not to question the executive branch?
Did I tell you not to?
I question everything they say.
Good. I hope you do. I hope you do.
If they
yeah.
tell me the sun will rise in the morning, I'm going to question it because they've lied about everything.
Good, you can
all the
question it.
time.
My qualms come with the conspiracy theories because a conspiracy theory is not questioning the government. Conspiracy theory, or I hate the term. I really do hate the term. I'm not trying to like put it down, but we understand what that means. But all the conspiracy theories are saying, here is the explanation that we have. It's not questioning. Questioning the government isn't inherently a conspiracy theory. It's just I want to know more. I want to decipher this bullshit that I think it is, But the conspiracy theory is the explanation without evidence, or loose evidence, or speculation. That's what those things are.
But Biofuel, who said your explanations or the explanations you're referring to were rational? And who said that any of what we were speaking about, or anything that people spoke about tonight, who said that, like, not so much who said they are conspiracy theories, but why would you talk about conspiracy theories when referring to flat earthers, but then talk about rational explanations when talking about people who are not flat earthers? Like, what are your rational explanations? Because
I guess it's subjective.
I listened to some earlier, and they weren't very rational. They were just your opinion more than nothing else.
Well, of course, it's subjective. I don't know how to necessarily distinguish it. I guess the easiest and low-hanging fruit one is the consensus, I guess you could say. But even that's not a good reason to call something something that opposes a consensus conspiracy theory. It's not a good reason, but that probably would be the first one to go to. Whatever the consensus thought about something is, when there's a conflicting explanation, that would be a conspiracy theory. But I don't like the term because it has a negative connotation.
Well, it could just mean that the consensus is wrong, because the consensus often have been, because who are the consensus? Mainly the consensus is made up of a large group of people who just go on the advice or words of someone that they trust in a position of authority, let's just say, or perceived authority. But really it's just a group of lazy people who didn't bother, let's just say, doing any research on the subject or questioning it at all. So, okay, fair enough. Conspiracy theorists, they seem to jump to conclusions more than question, maybe. I'd agree with that. But there's a fine line between conspiracy theories and actually just pointing out where consensus is wrong.
But you never do any research.
So is that a personal attack on me?
I mean, step over that road.
What was that about? Where did that come from? Obviously, I was saying something.
Yeah, it's retarded.
Just a minute.
No, it's retarded. You can't make a
quiet
stalker.
Quiet stalker. Quiet.
No, stalker. What the fuck? I never stalked you.
Yes, you are. You've been asking around. You've been asking for my personal information.
No, I didn't. I never once asked for
Yes, they talked to me.
They talked to me. Seriously.
No, I didn't. You're lying sack of shit.
They talked to me.
Nobody wants to hear it.
I never stalked you.
Yes, you are. You're stalking me.
Guys, no Discord drama. It's enough.
Okay, so you simply meant flat earthers. Flat earthers never do any research. And if in this conspiracy, you don't do research either. You just do Google searches. You just do Google searches of newspaper articles. That's not research.
That's based on your opinion and bias.
No, it's not based on opinion. It's based on what research is. It's what research is. You've never done a lick of research.
No, but that's just a basis generalization. Generalization.
You're poisoning the conversation.
You directed it at me.
You're poisoning the conversation with your shit. Get out of here.
She's just trying to get you going, Brian. You know how she trolls.
Yeah. Oh, I know what it is. I'm just trying to take it off the topic. We're talking in general, and she's trying to make it a personal thing.
So, no, it's not personal. I'm talking not about you particularly. I'm talking about as a group. Flat Earthers.
Yeah, but that's baseless generalization.
I think it's not baseless. I don't think it's baseless. Then show me the evidence.
How would you I can fix this right now. Okay, right here, right now, in front of everybody. I can fix this right now. That you'll be satisfied. I'll be satisfied, and everyone will walk away better for it. I had said when we talked that I think me and you went to the same high school. That's all I said. because I had originally had not accepted your life choices.
This is
okay?
drama that Brandon
No,
doesn't
listen.
want. I dropped it.
No, you're
I
not
dropped
listening.
It.
I didn't stop
I dropped
you.
it.
Craig,
I didn't
really,
stalk you.
I don't want Discord drama on the show.
Okay, sure, I can drop it, but I'm
Right.
saying that when you know people in real life, if you interact with them in real life,
Right.
you drop the toxicity.
So drop it.
And I think I had met Brenda in real life, and
No,
I
you
was
never
not
have.
toxic
You have
towards
no clue about anything about me. So
Well,
the
okay,
point
I
is,
do know. You
Craig,
know I
don't
know-
buy
I know-
into
you
it.
know I met
Listen,
you in real
guys,
life.
if you guys want to go to another room and work this out, go for it.
no,
Yeah,
I don't.
sure.
I
Because
don't want to
no
talk
one
about room.
cares
Yeah,
about your
move us to a
drama.
different room. We'll sort it out.
no,
we'll come back
I
better
Yeah,
don't-
for it.
go into the
I
beef
don't
room
want
and
to
sort
sort
this
it.
out.
I don't
Okay, I'll
want
go
to
to the
discuss
beef
it.
room. Let's see
Yeah, you
who's
go
ready
away.
to solve the problem and who wants to continue the problem. This will
No,
be
I don't
proof.
even want to discuss this. I don't even.
You
want to
mentioned
discuss
it. It was your
No,
claim.
I don't want to discuss this.
Then
Now, go
never
away.
bring it up
Get
again.
a room. Go away.
Never bring it up
Nobody
again
wants to
then.
hear it.
So the point is that when you're talking conspiracy theories, this general community of flat earthers and conspiracy theorists, you don't do research. You just do Google searches, and that's not research.
Your
You need
whole
to actually.
worldview is a Google search, Brenda. That's your whole
Brenda,
worldview. I can
wanted
find
to
it
fix
by
our
Googling
problem.
Right, Brenda,
Everyone
you
saw
just. Sorry, go on, Chris.
Yeah,
go on.
everyone saw it, Brenda. I offered to fix our conflict, and you didn't even want to because you live on conflict. That's your whole shtick.
it. Anyway,
Yeah, but Brenda, you just say flat earthers and conspiracy theorists. Basically,
Yes.
lumping the two together.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, but why are you basing that on? Like flat earth is not
Because
conspiracy theory.
right, I'm
I mean,
basing it
that's not
on observation.
research. You haven't done any research. You still
So,
think
yes, I
rational
have.
force.
Yes, I
You
have.
didn't
In high
even- You didn't even know. You didn't know anything about the theory of general relativity up to a year or so ago. I
That's
remember you did
false.
that.
That's false. That's false.
You didn't. There's so many
No.
things in your model that you don't
No,
even
you don't
didn't
know.
even know about. You got wrong
No,
on.
that's
constantly
false. That's all
getting wrong.
false.
It's all there on audio.
No, it's
all
not.
you want
No,
to
it's
do
not.
with it is come in here and look for attention, and you know by just singling out somebody that you're going to get some kind of attention. We were having well, I was only barely part of it, but there was an in general conversation going on,
yeah.
and you made it a more personal
So the
one.
point is,
Right, no, Brenda,
your-
we don't care.
your
Just
opinion.
stop. Let me read
Right.
something. Let me try to redirect this a little bit. So the term conspiracy theory has been thrown around a little bit, and I just want to read this list of things that were once considered conspiracy theory that turned out to be true. And then you tell me how stupid it is to believe the government. The U.S. Department of the Treasury poisoned alcohol during Prohibition and killed people. Did you know that? The U.S.
No.
Public Health Service lied about treating black men with syphilis for 40 years. The Tuskegee study that literally killed people. More than 100 million Americans received the polio vaccine contaminated with a cancer-causing virus. More death. Gulf of Tonkin incident. Never happened, parts of it. It's fabricated. Military leaders reportedly planned terrorist attacks to drum up support for the war against Cuba. Sounds like a pretty big psychological operation to me. The government tested the effects of LSD on U.S. and Canadian citizens without their knowledge. In 1974, the CIA resurfaced a sunken Soviet submarine with 3 nuclear-armed ballistic missiles. These sound like, I mean, I could keep going, but these sound like conspiracies to me.
Yeah, they did testing. They on a certain group of people here in my. I just happened to look and I seen my city and I was like, oh my god, they did vaccine testing, which was unclassified. I couldn't believe it.
So the response to that is that what you're doing is called affirming the consequence. The United States did X.
You do it too.
I see X, therefore the U.S. government did it.
No. What you're implying is that because we question the government and try to figure out what they're actually doing, that we are somehow idiots or lunatics or whatever you call us, conspiracy theorists, as if that is an insult, when it is very clear, given their history, that there are major conspiracies, such as the ones that I just read, that they
Sure.
conduct on a regular basis.
Sure thing. I can admit all of that. It doesn't follow
Yeah, if it wasn't
that it doesn't follow that, excuse me. It doesn't follow from the fact that the United States government or any government sometimes lies to its citizens, that therefore in every instance it lies to its citizens. That just doesn't follow.
Whoever claimed they lie in every instance, Brenda? When has
Well, then in
anyone
this
ever
instance-
claimed that they lie every single time?
So the claim here is that about NASA having
Nailed it
lied.
on the head.
NASA
Hey,
has
Brandon,
lied.
Brandon,
Go away,
this is
Brenda.
the video.
No, the government
Go
has
away,
lied in the
Brenda.
past.
Give me one
therefore
second.
NASA
Hold
is
on,
lying.
guys.
That's the argument.
What I got
It's
from
your
what Brandon,
lie.
what Brandon brought up is he's not trying to say that all conspiracies are true just because some of these other ones were.
We know that,
What
dude.
I got
We
from
know that.
what he was saying is that the idea of a conspiracy theory and then people just denying that outright just because it's a conspiracy theory is not an accurate way to look at it, because there are real conspiracies. And if somebody had a theory about
I
that
agree.
before it was released, that would have been a correct conspiracy reality instead
Hold
of
on,
just some
man.
theory.
Every
Hold on, dude. Hold on, dude. Hold on,
crime is
please,
a
goddammit.
conspiracy. Every crime is a conspiracy.
Hold on, Brandon.
Yeah.
I went away and I found the damn video. This one they gave no explanation for. This is a wire. The wire to a microphone doing a 180 around something that's not even there. I just posted it in general, and it's at 105 timestamp 105, and then
All
they
right.
show it in slow motion. It's cool. Level Earth Observer, so he's cool. I would like to hear her explanation for this.
I'll bring that up in just one second. Let me close out this point here. I didn't realize I wasn't sharing my screen, but I am now. There was a super chat from Earth is Life, and it was for $5, and he made a point regards to this. How many of these conspiracies have anything to do with space? Well, how many of them have to do with the government, and how much is the government involved in space? So there's obviously some intersection between these events and space, since they involve the same group of people, arguably. But here is a conspiracy theory that, or at one time conspiracy theory, that does involve space. This was the U-2 spy plane that was downed. It was given fictitious NASA markings to try to say that it wasn't a spy plane and it was a NASA project. And of course, they were busted for this.
I think
they were using NASA.
They should do that.
They were using NASA as cover for spy programs.
Yeah, sure. They should do that. Right? That's what a spy program is. You keep it secret.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so that was a good thing.
So I guess the idea that the NASA is cover for other activities does make sense, and it would be a good thing for the government to do that.
It could be. Well, yes. The
Thank you.
intelligence agencies should use NASA as a cover for their activities, because that's what their job is to be an intelligence agency.
Well, then I guess if you can't really ask us to believe the stories that NASA tells, can you? Because they could be just cover stories for the spy agencies.
No, that's affirming the consequence. You can't.
That's not affirming the consequence.
You can't conclude from the fact that the government could use the NASA as a cover for intelligence activities.
They have used.
Therefore, and yeah, sure, and therefore everything NASA does is a cover.
No one ever said everything. No one ever said everything. Again, you always have to throw in a fucking fallacy every single fucking
Here's the
time.
thing, Brenda. Here's the thing, though. Like, all those things. Hang on. All those things on Brandon's list. All right. Plus, there were more, obviously. Now, if those things had been discussed in this server over the course of time, people like yourself, not you specifically, but like you and on your side, would generically ridicule us and tell us we're all lunatics and tin foil hat wearers. But in the course of time, these things have been proven to be the case. So that conspiracy theorist nut job label that's put on us has been proven to be correct. Has not specifically, but generically, That has been proven to be the case. So where we bring up things and we question narratives and we challenge NASA and the CDC and all these other things, you guys have to take some historical viewpoint and think, all right, well, maybe I don't agree with them, but I'm not just going to dismiss everything they say, because there have been lots and lots of things in the past that have been proven to be different to what we've been told. That's the thing that probably irritates me. One of the highest levels is just the blind, willful ignorance of anything we say.
It's not blind, willful ignorance. That's just a miscategorization.
No, this is what I see. Okay, you won't chill. You absolutely won't chill. You'll understand. No, hold on. I got.
Wait, I have a question
Listen,
for Brandon. Enough.
Yeah, Chaiki, just
Stop
do it.
whining.
Just say no, Chaiki. Say no. The problem is when you even get a point of agreement, like 8Ball just said, that you can separate one thing from the other. At least chill, okay? Slow your roll for 1 second. Not everything has to be flat Earth versus globe Earth. You don't have to tribalize everything.
Oh my God! Shut up.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't
Well,
done any
that's
of
really
that.
where we go with it. Shut up.
All right, go ahead, Chaiki.
For you to
you don't have to play my.
re-escalate.
Brian, shut up. I have a
Hold on,
question
go ahead,
for
Chaiki, and then we'll bring
Brian.
up Ryan's video.
I'd like to hear what they say about this one.
Yeah. Brandon, you said something about the Tuskegee experiment?
Yeah, the Tuskegee experiments.
So can we see the proof? Can we see the proof for what you said?
I don't have anything prepared. No.
Yeah, there's proof.
So you're making a claim.
No,
That's shit he named, bro. Shit he named. When you
This isn't my claim. This is pretty well
You make
established.
a
But yeah, I guess it could be a
claim.
story. Do you have any evidence to say that it was? Because this is admitted by the government.
Well, who made the positive claim here?
No, I didn't
You
make the
said
positive
things
claim.
that
The
were-
government made
were
this
thought
claim.
to
They
be-
admitted to this.
Where is the admission?
Chaiki, all that
I'll
stuff
search
he
for
named.
it for you, Chaiki. This is not in question. Then I'm not sure why you're choosing to question this. Do you have a reason?
I'm questioning it. You say there is no question.
No, it's
For
fine.
some
Do you have a
reason,
reason
you
to
seem to
question this?
believe-
In the Britannica Almanac, in the Britannica Encyclopedia, there is a presidential apology for the study at Tuskegee.
That does not mean they were injected with.
So that's not good enough evidence for you, you dipshit.
That's not admission that they were injected with syphilis. I don't know what the apology was for, but it wasn't for them injected with syphilis.
Well, here's the
because they
Centers for
weren't.
Disease Control talking about it.
Yeah, what did they say?
Maybe you should read through this. Do you want me to give you the link?
No, you will read through this because you need to bring the. I'm not going to read this to find there is no claim they were injected.
Yeah, they
with
weren't.
You need to answer this question, bro. Why? Why are you defending it? Why are you defending it, Chaiki?
Why? Because someone made a claim, Brian, that I find to be baseless, and he said that was once a conspiracy, and once now it's known it isn't. Well, it's still a conspiracy.
He named off a
Brian.
list of deception, bro.
It is still a conspiracy.
Oh, okay. So you think
I
this
can read
didn't
this,
happen?
Brandon?
That they,
hold on.
they
He named off a
apologized for
list
this?
of
Why would they
fucking
apologize for it?
So
Hold
they
on.
apologized for the unethical. They apologized for the unethical study. I can read this to you, Brandon. The U.S.
You don't need to. We don't need to go deep into this. This is fine. I don't understand what the problem is here.
They were not injected with syphilis. They
All I did
had
was
latent
read
syphilis,
this. If I
and they were
misspoke and said they were
untreated.
injected with syphilis, then I apologize.
Yeah.
They were not treated
They were
for their
left-
syphilis.
They were right.
If
they
the
were left
government
untreated.
offers you free health care, say no thank you. Why?
That's not what I would conclude from that.
That's
So-
what I would conclude.
It was an unethical
hold on,
study.
Fred.
It was an
Yes, sir.
unethical study. They reasoned that these poor men would not receive treatment anyway, and so they left them untreated, and that was unethical. It was a bad thing for the U.S. for the government to do. Absolutely.
Not the only one. Though.
Yeah.
There's been
Okay.
multiple.
So I
other
misspoke and said they
experiments.
were injected with syphilis. Then that's
Yeah,
my
that's
fault.
fine.
Yeah.
And
okay.
so I'm not saying that what I'm saying is that I can differentiate between the U.S. government will sometimes deceive, right, and falsify things. It has committed those acts in the past. That doesn't mean that necessarily that we didn't go to the moon or some other such thing.
But can't
Of
you team
course
up with
not.
us on the evil shit that they admitted? Can't you at least team up with us on that instead of defending the evil shit that they were caught doing? Because you got to figure, you ain't stupid. Well, with everything they've been caught for, there's 100 things that they got away with. But as soon as he plays this video, I want to hear y'all's explanation. This one has not been explained.
So the fact that somebody did something bad in the past doesn't mean that this other thing that they're doing right now is also bad.
Yes, it does.
No one
it
has
doesn't.
ever
Yeah,
laid
yes, it
out
does.
that logic that just because they did these things mean anything we bring up or anything they do is wrong. You're taking the position to the extreme and acting as if that's what we're saying.
Right. So photographs
yes,
by
yes,
NASA
you
of
can.
low Earth orbit, those are okay.
No, that doesn't make any sense either. Just because
Why not?
just because we can't
useful idiot.
assume that everything they're doing is a lie doesn't mean there's anything we can point to and assume that it's the truth. There's a possibility that they're lying about anything they say.
That everybody.
That's all.
It's a possibility that everybody is lying
Yeah,
about
exactly.
everything all the time.
Now you're getting it.
That's why we have degrees of evidence and degrees of confidence based on the preponderance of data and experimental evidence and observational data. That's why we do that. So the fact that I can grab hundreds and thousands of photographs of the Earth from orbit, I can grab live videos from orbit, from the ISS,
No, you
I
can't.
think is reasonable. It is
Why?
reasonable. To
You
conclude
can't grab
that
shit,
they
Brenda.
Yeah, you're lying, Brenda.
You
Brenda,
get
stop
it
lying.
from the same source.
Yes, that's a genetic fallacy.
So why
It's all
would you claim
from
that
the
you can do
same
something you
source.
can't do?
That's all I said.
Bias.
That's not a genetic fallacy. I didn't say it's not true because it came from that source. I said it's all from that source.
Literally what you're saying. Yeah, that's literally what you're saying. It's
No,
not
it's
true
not.
because it came from them.
You know what, Brenda? You're dragging us down these rabbit holes. Let's take a look at this video that Brian put in here, and we'll try to figure it out. What was the timestamp, Brian?
It's a minute and 5.
Minute and 5. You're very good at leading us down rabbit holes, though. I'll give you that. Can you guys see my screen?
Roger that.
I would say she's trying to pull us out of a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Well, you got
Go
a
get
weird
a
idea.
room, dude. Get a room, seriously.
Yeah.
Lame.
Hey, it's just a perspective.
Brian,
Ain't no
Yeah,
big
but
thing.
you really believe your government has never lied to you? Are you gonna die?
No,
on
I
that hill?
didn't know. I know they've lied. I know they've lied to me.
Hey, I
Well,
live
not
right
about
here.
everything,
Hey, everyone,
but not
look right
about
now.
anything.
No, look at Brandon's screen. This is right there, the flat Earth model. YouTube says right there, there's a flat Earth model. You can never claim again in your lifetime there's no flat Earth model.
All right, Brian, what are we
YouTube
looking at
says-
here? So I
There is
started
something.
at 105. What are we looking for, Brian?
Okay, what you're gonna see is a lady, spinning. And if you're just watching this, it'd be all fine and dandy. It's one of the maneuvers.
Objection.
Why are
Your
you
Honor.
interrupting his
Find it
description?
yourself.
Why the fuck are
Find
you
it
interrupting his
yourself.
description?
Find it yourself. Find it yourself, Brandon. Let's see if you can find it yourself. What's the problem there?
Without
Dude,
describing
I got 10
Okay.
pages
Yeah,
of
no,
NASA dude, it takes so long to find this shit, dude. I've replicated several of them. I haven't put it in the video yet, but yeah, it's on NASA. Okay, you can go to NASA and then go to favorites ISS, and it's still going to take you forever, but they're all there, Chunky. Okay, now listen, you're going to see the lady does a maneuver, a flip to prove they're in outer, where they ask them to do a flip during one of the events. Okay, and if you're just watching it, yeah, it's all fine and dandy. Yes, 0G, she's in space, okay? But they fucked up. They had a microphone with a wire on it, okay? And it gets tangled. The wire from the microphone, which they did not block out, okay, gets tangled in the wire that you can't see.
About?
It does it does a 180-degree turn. You can see the wire of the microphone wrap around nothing at all. It wraps around. It does a 180-degree turn on something.
Hold
not
on,
even there.
you're talking about this right here, where it's like caught up on something by her head.
Yeah. Watch it closely when they slow it down, and you'll see it wraps around nothing at all. It wraps around.
It didn't.
Could never happen.
That's because she did a somersault. That's why the cord gets twisted. She holds onto the microphone and did a somersault.
No, it clearly did get caught up on something. I mean, we can talk about what it is, but it clearly got caught up on something.
Seriously,
Right
Brenda, are you joking right now, Brenda? Are you joking, Brenda? Seriously.
Yeah,
They
it
told
definitely
you
got
they
caught up
faked
on
this shit.
something. What that something was.
You're imagining that. You're imagining that.
They're okay. They already
Don't
said they
buy
faked
into
something.
her shit, please.
Okay,
Go ahead, Crit. I'll let you
is-
keep going, but
so
do not
I'll
buy into
explain to
Brenda's bullshit, guys. Go ahead.
Don't buy into like Ed shit either. Ed's
Yeah.
like a foreign operative trying to get
Talking
grind
about
America down.
toxicity,
He's just an ordinary
Crit,
person.
toxicity.
Ed is like a foreign operative trying to
Did
get
you- did you
America
call
to
him Brad?
overspend so it falls. He wants America to bust its budget so he can say.
Hold on, Crit, hold on.
Okay.
So I want to hear Ed and Chikey, if they don't mind taking
Yeah,
turns. I
let's
want to
see
hear.
it. Let's see them defend this
I want to
shit.
hear their response because I haven't got one yet, and I
Well,
want to
you
hear
haven't
what that
shown that it
wire.
got hot. You haven't shown that there's a wire.
There's a fucking wire in the video.
No, there isn't.
There's no wire. You don't see a wire in the video.
There is another
There's the
wire.
white-
It's
There's
not what
the
he
white
means.
wire of the microphone.
Maybe
but
you
not
don't
another
see
one.
it, and if you were quiet for a minute, I'll show you it in the video what we're talking about.
Zoom it.
Ready? All right. So she's taking this back. Now watch the cord right there by her head. See how it's caught on something, and it remains caught on something.
That's
It's still caught on something, and then it has to be pulled up and away.
Oh my
So what did
God.
it get caught on?
It didn't get caught on anything.
So
What are y'all
you don't
looking
see how that cord stays there unnaturally.
It's in zero gravity, and the cord. It's in zero gravity.
It's not
and-
zero gravity. Even
Yes,
if
it is.
pulled.
Yes,
No,
it is. It's
It's not
it's called
falling.
microgravity.
Don't chase the shiny
It's zero
object.
gravity.
What is
So
it doing
it's-
then? Why is the cord look like it gets caught up on something
Because
way
the
down
cord
here
Is it
until she pulls
is
it
it
off? up here?
magnetically attracted to her head, Brenda? Is it magnetically attracted to her head because it tracks with her head?
No,
At that reversal point where it's bent around, it then follows her head. How do you explain that? I'm just saying you have to entertain the possibility.
Look at
No,
those
it was
smiles.
done before.
Those smiles are
could
just
be.
honest.
Brenda,
It
let
tracks
Chikey and Ed
with her
respond.
head, directly
let
with
Chikey-
her head.
It's stuck in her hair, dumbasses.
Oh, come on.
Her hair. Her hair that's in the
Her
bun.
hair is,
They
her
really
hair's
are.
pinned back in a
Hold
bun.
up, look at that. You guys hear that? Ed Freeze said her hair
That's
in a
legit.
bun. Her hair's in the bun.
Yeah, and so that means there can be no hair
Yeah,
sticking
her
out.
hair's
You
in the
absolute
bun.
idiot.
Yeah, her
There's
hair's in
no
the
hair.
bun, dude. Do you know what the
What do you
bun?
mean there's no hair? Is
to
he
account
bald?
for-
It's in a bun. Her hair's in the bun.
Yeah,
You have
shut
to
up,
account
Rick.
for the fact.
Yeah, shut
Ed,
up,
Ed,
Ed.
if you ever got close to a woman in your life, you'd know what happens when they pull their hair back in a bun. There's
Right,
none
and I know
sticking
there's
out.
still hair
Yeah, Ed
laying
has
around
no
everywhere,
idea.
going to all
No
places,
idea.
even though
Fridge
they
has
put it
never
in a
been
bun,
an
because
Ed
that's
has
what
no
happens with
idea.
long hair.
Yeah, you've got no idea, do you, Ed?
You guys know absolutely nothing.
It's in a bun.
Regardless,
Her hair's in a bun.
that where it turns around at that 180 degrees, that point seems to track directly with the lady's head.
Because it's
That
stuck
is
in
a
her
little bit
hair.
unexplainable.
No,
It's
I just
not
explained it.
unexplainable.
It's stuck
Just
in
did.
one of her hairs that's sticking
No,
out.
it's
Why is that a
bullshit.
problem?
It's in, her hair's in a bun, dude.
Quiet, Chris. Nobody
No,
cares.
cry.
Look at her hair.
It's off to
Look at
the
her hair.
right hand side of her head. It's at her
Yeah,
ear.
it's counterforce. Yeah,
Oh, wait.
if it was her head.
So what's something then?
Even if it isn't one of her hairs, I could admit that it wasn't a hair. It's simply due to the fact that she gave it an initial momentum in a certain direction and in a weightless atmosphere, a weightless environment.
Brandon, go back. Does
unless
it?
there's-
It goes across
unless
and
there's a
up with her
force.
head. Up.
Yeah.
Unless there's
It
a
goes
force.
up with her head. Across
Unless
and
there's a
up.
force.
Unless
Across
it's a
and
force,
up.
It will continue.
Brenda, I'm about to destroy your argument. It goes across and up.
Watch
Bob
it.
the science guy admits wires. He
All right,
admits green
it's already
screen. Why don't
attached to
y'all have
whatever it
that?
is right there. She's
Yep.
going to continue up, turn her head.
Goes across. There we go. It's across and then up.
Yeah, that's because she gave it an initial momentum. When she
In two directions, Brenda. In two directions?
She gave it an initial momentum.
Okay, sure. Oh,
In two
will you at
directions.
least- wait, hold on. Will all the globalists admit at least it looks weird? It looks weird at least.
No, Bob the science guy has already admitted that they're on wires. Bob the
Guys,
science guy
guys,
admitted that there's wires and green. Hold on,
What the
Chris.
hell is going to
Hold
stop
on, Ed.
that wire from
Hold on,
moving?
Bob. I mean, Jackie. Hold on, dude. Bob the science guy has no problem admitting they're on wires and they're using green screen. Why do y'all have problems?
That's
He's
not
already
true.
said 100 times that they're on
That's not
wires
true.
and they're using
That
green
is
screen.
Brian.
What y'all's problem?
Because they're anti-flat earthers, they have to deny everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
They
It
won't
has-
even
they
admit.
have
No,
to.
you need
Look
to
at
make
that.
up shit all
Okay,
the
it's
time.
breathtaking. They
Dude,
won't
your
even admit it
inclusion
looks
is making
weird.
more flat earthers. I
They
can tell you
won't
that
even
much
admit
right
it.
now.
So
They won't.
Actually,
They won't
there is-
even.
admired Bob for humbling himself, man.
Chris.
On that.
Yeah, stop being toxic, Chris. So you
That's
give
not an easy
momentum
one
to
for
the
somebody
cable.
defending the model, man.
So you
know?
give momentum to the cable. It's not going to fall down because it's in zero gravity. What is going to stop it? Is there anything to stop it from keep moving?
And the plastic coating on the wire of the microphone itself is stiff. And so once given an initial momentum, it will keep going until she
In
collects
one
it up and pulls
direction.
it.
Brenda.
Not in
Brenda,
two
she
directions.
pulls it in the other direction and it still follows her head. Watch her right arm.
Right.
She's going to switch it off to her hand. And then she's going to move to her left. Ready? Here she goes. You're right. It has momentum
Oh,
that way
there
now.
she-
Now
yes.
she switches. Now
That's
she
right.
pulls it back. And it still follows. It's like it's caught on something right there by her head. That's very clear.
Her left hand briefly caught the cord.
Hang on. If anything, she pulled the microphone down and in front of her. That should have reversed the direction of the cord.
How?
But
How?
instead, it turned 90 degrees and went upwards instead of towards the microphone. It went the opposite direction.
The cable is going
Chucky,
to the
I'm
right.
probably not going to listen to you. Let's be honest.
Then don't listen. The cable is going to the right. She start pulling it
Hey,
back.
Brandon, stop it.
Only-
Stop it right. Not there yet. Just about.
That's a
Not
bit that
there.
shoots you in the foot, Brenda.
Not there.
Anybody out there on the fence?
Go forward.
Anybody out there on the fence? You see what you have to defend? You go along with their model. It's horse shit. Anybody with eyes sees what the fuck is going on here. Even Bob the science guy admitted it. You know what? He didn't admit that. He didn't admit that.
or anything. This is just
At least he admitted
insane.
there were wires and green screen, right? At least he humbled himself for that much because he ain't fucking pure retarded.
What are you
I
talking
admire
about,
him.
Brian?
Yeah,
When
we
did Bob, the science guy, admit that they use green
The other
screen?
day.
When he wanted
The other
to
day,
get rid
man,
of
I was trying to argue with him, and he just kept agreeing with me. He's like, "You're right, dude. They're on wires." He wasn't gonna argue that because I showed him about 5 or 6 of these, and he's like, he wasn't gonna argue that. He's got eyes,
No,
And in fact,
he just didn't want to
listening to
argue
them
with you,
defend
Brian.
obvious bullshit, because if there's anybody out there new, there's so many of these examples that it's so obvious just seeing one of them. Anybody with eyes, but there's so many
There's no
examples. And
wire.
listening to them defend them makes them look like fools that they
There
are.
really isn't
There's
a
no
wire.
wire.
What is
It's
what is
just
the
your
cord getting caught
imagination.
on? Let's say there's not a wire, okay?
It's not.
We can't
So
see
I'm trying
we
to
can't
explain.
see the
I'm
wire
trying
it
to
gets caught
explain.
on, but what is the
It's not
cord? Why
getting
is it
caught.
staying by her head?
Listen,
Can I just say something real quick, Brandon?
the cord is moving to the right. She start pulling it to the left. However, she will not pull to the left anything that is not connected to the wire, that it keeps still going to the right. So when it gets to the right, it makes a turn and the rest continue to move to the right.
Why does it go up?
Until
It's
there's
clearly
no cable
stuck
left.
to her head, Chaiki.
No, it's not.
It is. It's very clear.
At no time it touches her head.
It follows her head.
It's because
I don't
they both
fucking care
have the
about
same
follows.
vector. They have the same vector.
No, it's clearly attached to something.
It does an 80-degree turn. It's going left to right, and then it's just goes almost vertical
moves,
with her head.
She's moving right here to our right.
Then she
and
pulls it to her right,
cord, the
and it
entire
gets caught
cord
right
is
there.
No, but that's because that part of it, and it probably is stuck on her hair. I think.
Oh, now it's her hair,
stuck
Brenda.
On her hair.
Yeah.
It's a
I was
bun.
giving it to
I
you.
thought it wasn't
Dude, you're
stuck on
transgender.
anything.
You know what a bun is?
Brenda, is Bob lying? Is Bob lying, Brenda, when he says they're on? It's obvious they're on wires and that they're using green screen.
He was trying to get rid of you, Brian.
Oh, no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He says it over and over and over and over and over and over.
What you wanted to hear.
Yeah, because he wanted to get rid of you, Brian.
I thought so too at first. I thought that at first too. He 100% agreed.
And you were right at first, yes.
I think it gets caught. I think it gets caught in her hair, in a strand of hair. It gets twisted around a strand.
One strand.
Yeah, it's all.
I think we'll summarise this by to whoever's listening. This looks really strange. And the other side will say it doesn't look strange at all.
Because it's in zero gravity.
He will not say that the ISS ain't up there. In Bob's behalf, he won't say that that there's nothing up there. There's no ISS. He still believes in ISS and the whole story. He just knows that what they're showing us is bullshit, and I admire him for that. But he's not saying they're just flat or there's no ISS.
Say that. You're putting words into it.
Brenda.
He was just telling you what you wanted to hear so he could get rid of you because you're annoying.
I thought that too. No. I thought
Brandon,
that too at first.
Brandon, just before that cord goes vertical, it is almost pulled tight. If you can just rewind it, it looks like it's almost pulled, like all the tension's taken out of it from the left in the left to right vector, and there. See, there's almost no kinks in it, and then the whole thing just goes up.
You know,
why does it go from being pulled left to right to then it all just travels in an upward direction?
It's definitely caught on something, but if it was a wire,
who knows
right,
what?
Let's say it's
Who
a
knows
wire
what?
and it's
Yeah.
caught on a wire right now. Now, but she takes it off of there. So how did she get it off the wire right there if it was caught on a wire?
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't. I can't quite work that out.
And the change of vector was when the zero G plane goes down and up. What most likely happened is it changed the vector. You know how the zero G planes have to go up and down, and when it went up, the plane probably went down.
Looks like we swapped Matrix for Bob. I mean, yeah.
I think actually that the caught on the hair is a pretty good explanation. To be honest.
Yeah, I do too.
Yay for Brandon. Yay.
It didn't happen all the time, man. It wouldn't be a big deal. It's just there's so many of these examples. And so, look, if they are on wires, look, if they're going to fake zero G and they got to do it for a long time and they don't, then they need green screen and wires. And so let's be real. If they're going to do it, they're going to hide the wires. Okay. And
she just did a rotating flip, Brian.
Yeah, it can't be around the wire, Brian, because if it was around the wire, she wouldn't be able to just flick it loose of the wire because the wire is a solid object, so that doesn't make sense either.
Right. But
that subject is wrapped around stuff. Nobody else is moving but that wrap.
You can break a hair easy.
It does look like it gets pulled off of something, but yeah, how would they have released the wire right at that point? I mean, if it was a wire, then they would have had to have released the wire at that exact point when she pulled it off, right?
And then
there's people manning the buttons. They used to let the people man the buttons, and then it became obvious where they're just reaching off to the side, hitting the buttons and shit. And I mean, you see anybody who's seen Hiro Landucci's video of the noise it makes when they reach over and hit the buttons when they're tangled. You've seen guys get stuck upside down. Two of them got stuck upside down, and it's so funny they had to finish the interview upside down. And I should have pulled them up, but I just like hearing these fuckers squirm over obvious bullshit.
They're not squirming at all.
Well, you were squirming because originally you said it wasn't following her head. So your instinct is always to deny right off the bat, Brenda. You have to admit that.
Yeah, no, she said it wasn't caught on anything. Period.
Right. And then when it was very obvious to everyone that it had to be caught on something, she changed it to a hair.
Not obvious to me.
This is
You don't
what
think
drove
it's caught
Bob
on
over the
anything,
limit.
Shaiki?
Nope.
This is what drove Bob over the limit. When he seen Tim Peake get stuck upside down. Look, Tim Peake's going to do a flip, and they all three tried to do it at once, and he got tangled. And then you see them all reaching, trying to get, and they gave up. And you see him looking up, and Tim Peake just sat there upside down. And I was like, what stopped him? What stopped him? Bob's like, the wire stopped him. Because there was nothing else to stop him. There's 0 G's in the middle of a backflip. He gets stuck upside down. He finishes the interview up, dumbass down, dude. I mean, I kind of felt bad for him, man. But and it happened to another guy, the other dude, one of the twins, the bald-headed twins.
It hasn't occurred to you.
upside
He
down.
just enjoyed. It hasn't occurred to you. He just enjoyed doing the interview
Yo,
upside down.
Brian,
some
she
of the
does a
shit-
flip
some of the shit-
under the fucking cable and under the dude. Where are the wires, you idiot?
Some of this shit is so obvious that the Globers used to say that the wires are there for safety. That's what they used. Some of them would say that.
Really?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I don't think
the
so.
wires are there for safety reasons, because otherwise shit's just floating all over the place. You can't have stuff floating all over the place, all crazy.
I mean,
That's
another
hilarious.
option. I mean, somebody could still technically believe in the globe and the heliocentric model and just say that they're still faking all of this stuff. Maybe because they have some secret space station or they're hiding aliens. Like, you could come up with some other reason and still admit that they're faking all this and still believe in the
Yeah,
globe.
that was my point. That was my point. My point was just because Bob did not recognize their own wires and use a green screen, that means he's not a fucking fool, and he's not gonna keep defending.
How are there wires? She does
They
a
ain't
flip
really got a
under the
program out there
cable
and
and
shit,
under the
you know?
dude.
Let's be real.
Why'd you just interrupt
Let's be real.
Brian? Rahif, what the fuck, man? Let him finish.
Because you guys are retards. She does a flip under the cable and under the dude. How are there possibly wires?
Bro, we already went over all
Yeah.
that. As usual, you're coming in halfway through the conversation, repeating shit that was already said.
It's fine. Just got out of bed. Is that
Oh,
right?
okay. All right.
If she goes underneath the other
Back to
guy,
bed.
if she's underneath the other guy, how can there be a wire
Yeah.
holding her up?
And the cable from the microphone. She does a flip under the cable as well.
So
At least
so
she
one
didn't
of
get
the-
stuck upside down. I'd have felt so bad for her if she got stuck upside down,
So-
like Tim
so,
Peake and that
hey,
other
Brian,
dude. Like when they got tangled up so bad, and they were trying to unweave them and shit, and they couldn't because they had to do too many motions. But you see the attempting motions. Like I said, some ballers, you know, get tired of defending obvious bullshit. That doesn't mean that. I said,
There's no reason
to
to
me, I think it, but still, don't deny what you see. It makes you look so desperate.
I
actually
you
got
guys
a
are
side.
just fucking tilting at windmills.
I actually got to side with Brenda on this because if it's wrapped around a cable, she would have to pull it through the cable.
That was my point.
Right.
That wasn't Brenda's point.
You know,
I
that-
was the one who
And
originally
my
said
point.
that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like it's caught
I
on
just don't want
something,
you to
but
give
it ain't.
Brenda credit where it's not
recognized.
due
It's
to
caught
her
on her
because
hair.
she originally said it wasn't even caught up on anything.
Yeah.
I originally felt that she had just given it an initial momentum in the right hand direction as we look at it, right hand. It'd be her left hand, wouldn't it? And that's what I initially thought, that she'd just given it some momentum in that direction.
Yeah, who knows? I wouldn't call this one very good evidence personally. It is
So the
interesting that it
difference-
gets caught up on something, but there's no smoking gun
Yeah, I
here.
thought
Not
it
like
was.
when they dropped the screw. No, you want to talk about a smoking gun? There's a smoking
Yes,
gun.
I would love to talk about the screw, Brandon.
Or the guy in the
That's the one
U.S.
I
The guy in
forgot,
the,
man.
or the guy in the
Y'all didn't see the one where
USMC.
he
Hold on,
dropped it, he
Brian.
goes to reach.
Hold on a second,
Good.
Brian. Or the guy in the USMC T-shirt. I know y'all remember that one. That was a big hit. When he was clear.
When he tugged on the
Remember
other
that?
guy's wire to straighten him
Yeah,
out.
I think I posted. Is that the one you're talking about? This is a little gif of it. That one, that's one of the most.
Or the guy floating in the background
How is
with,
that
or the guy hold on, Brenda, or the guy floating in the background with an actual fucking wire he's hanging from. But no, there's one the guy he dropped something and he went to catch his instincts. Not the one where he dropped the screw, but the other one. I'm gonna try and find it where he drops something and he goes to his instinct has him jerk down to catch it real quick. You know how if we drop something, we try to hurry up and catch it before it hits the ground, and he does catch it. But has anybody seen that one?
I don't think so.
So I don't see how this guy doing a full 360 spin next to 3 other people. Where are the wires?
Oh, you're not familiar with the harnesses that they use for movies and stuff?
First of all, they're wire colored. They're wire colored wires.
They'd be all
Remember
over
that?
the place.
They are all over the place, Brenda.
But they're
very
not.
well
You
organized.
don't see them.
Very
They're
well
not there.
organized.
You're just imagining them.
No, listen, Brenda.
Where are
What
they in the
Brandon just
movie?
told you. When
You
Brandon
don't
just
see them in
told
the
you was
movies.
when
They
they
must
make
not be there.
when they make a movie, they're everywhere.
So yes,
It's
but
very organized.
yes, but he's making a 360 frontwards spin. So the wires would have to be going left and right. But he's also suspended in the air. So there would have to be wires holding him up also. Where are those?
Yeah,
wires? He's not bumping into those
Have you
wires.
ever heard?
How
Have
does
you
that
ever heard of a
work?
swivel? Have you ever
Okay,
heard of a
first of all,
swivel?
how do you know? How do you
Yeah.
know which direction is it? How do you know which direction is even actually up in the video?
The
How many
harness
tabs do you have
swivel.
open, Brandon? Bloody hell.
How do you know which way is actually up in the video? Because when we see the bubbles when they're faking it in the pool on the end for the exterior shots, we see the bubbles going up. We see the bubbles going up. Don't let me finish. It's fine.
Never once seen a bubble.
In the pool, Brenda.
Oh, there's bubbles in pools, of course.
Well, at least let Jeremy finish.
My point was, how do you know which way is even up? Because when we see the bubbles going in the pool, sometimes they're floating like sideways and stuff, so you don't even know, which way could originally be up in this video and which way the wires are coming from. I don't know.
Bubbles underwater don't go sideways.
They do if the camera's turned. They would appear to go.
Only if they're going around a physical barrier.
Oh my God! Forget it, James. James, just forget it.
Hey, James, why are you defending NASA all of a sudden, bro?
It's
I'm
if
not.
the camera
I'm
was.
telling you a
If you had the
fact.
camera, James, if you had the camera turned 90 degrees or something, the bubbles would appear to be going to the right side of your screen, making it look like they're not going up. You understand?
Yeah, I understood what you were saying, but bubbles. I was just saying.
I
Bubbles
don't think
never
you
go
did.
sideways.
Just is my personal opinion, but
Yeah, I knew exactly what you were saying.
In person, said that they were paint chips. That he don't know nothing about bubbles in space. It must have been flakes of paint.
No, they're not flakes of paint. They're often bits of water vapor.
No, that's what the astronaut said. What do you? Whoa, that's what the astronaut said live on stage.
Bits of water.
He said they were bits of paint.
They
They
could
were
be a
paint
number of
flakes.
things. They often mess with the tubing on the outside, and you get condensation, but you also get little drips of the liquids that they're
He was pretty
working
specific,
with.
dude. He's pretty specific. He said that the ISS takes a beating up there. It's flakes of paint from the meteorite.
Jeremy, what you were saying is you wouldn't be able to tell what direction up is, but if you base it off the bubble, you know what direction up is. That's all I was getting at.
Well, the problem is
yeah, but
with
inside
so-called-
Brenda, shut up. No one cares what you say. In the ISS, there are no bubbles. There's no way to differentiate which way is actually up.
Well, they do experiments with
You can
water.
catch bubbles. You can catch bubbles on the ISS live feed.
Right. They are messing with water and bubbles sometimes.
So the
they're going
problem,
to uncut video on the ISS. They're going to debunk any conspiracy theories. They're going to show an uncut clip in the ISS for an hour, and I'll be damned if in the first 15 damn seconds they didn't go to their first cut. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Even Jose pointed it out. I was like,
Yeah,
Man.
there's been 50 minutes uncut. Right? Deal with the 50
"No,
minutes
15
uncut. and then
seconds."
talk.
They went to their first
No,
cut
no, no.
immediately.
50
And
minutes.
Jose
There
pointed it
are
out.
50 minutes uncut.
Shout out to Flip Flop. Shout out to Flip Flop for pointing it out. All the
There are
cuts.
50 minutes
Immediate.
uncut. Deal with that.
Where's the 50 minutes
how do you
uncut
do-
one?
How do you deal with the videos of them going through the airlocks? How does that happen with harness?
With harness.
I don't know. Have you ever seen that movie? You ever seen that movie Gravity?
So
You
how
have a
does that
video of
happen?
them going through
I'm
it?
just asking.
Yes,
I'm just asking.
You have a
it's
video of them?
long- It's the one. It's a long cut going through several airlocks. Yes.
All right. Do you have a video of them going from putting on the spacesuit to outside, uncut?
So we're moving the goalposts again, aren't we?
I thought that's what you meant you had. That'd be something impressive.
Even
you
Mission
just
to
have to
Mars showed
explain-
the depressurization
just
chamber.
Have to explain. You just have to explain going through an airlock while wearing a harness.
We get
I
Matt
think
Damon
they
to explain the
should,
things they literally never show us. Why would we need to explain that?
When they're going through an airlock, they're doing it in the pool underwater.
They also use the zero gravity plane.
Hold on.
They literally do not
Yeah.
show us that happening. So why would we need to explain
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
having to do with that?
If they did it, they would just be doing it from the pool.
Brian,
I think
was
we
you
should go
saying
back
that?
to Leo's video. There are no harnesses in this video, right? So how is she doing a flip?
They can use zero gravity planes too, and who knows what technology?
Yeah,
But
which lasts for how long, Gio? How long does that last for?
Well, the ones that are civilian level last for a certain amount of times. Who knows? What might have at
It's
the
physics,
military
Gio.
level. No, they can do them for quite much longer time.
We could
No,
do
they
the
can't.
math. We could do the
They
math,
can't.
and we could say what the highest altitude you would accept people can go. Then we could do the math of how long they can experience zero G, and then we can compare that to the footage that you're trying to question, and then we can say, "Fuck, this is seconds, this is minutes, doesn't add up."
They can splice them together too. They can edit. They can.
Oh, anything but fucking real. Anything but real, Gio. Anything but real.
And it's very
That's
easy to do.
called- That's called paranoia.
much shit. It's actually
Hello.
embarrassing.
Your microphone is bad again, Brian.
Brandon?
Yeah.
They have wires. There's wires on that water bubble.
Got a super chat from James Richard for $5. Brandon, will you ask Brenda her definition of conspiracy and then ask her where the theory comes from? What's your definition of conspiracy?
A conspiracy theory specifically is about attributing intention to vast shadowy. If you want me to answer a question, you have to let me finish. A conspiracy theory is when you attribute intentions to a vast, shadowy, secretive organization. That's what a conspiracy.
he asked you to define.
Let me talk to Brenda because it was my question, if you don't mind.
Sorry.
So, Brenda, is conspiracy theory one word or two?
What do you think?
It's a
Well, it's
compound
two
word.
words. It's two words. They
It-
both have their own
it's what-
definition.
Not a
What about it?
So a
This is
conspiracy,
just going to be a.
it really
bullshit,
irks me
right?
when people. It really irks me when people just say you're just a conspiracy theorist, because it's nothing
That
more
it
than a
does.
prosecutor.
Yeah,
nothing
my
more than a
definition
prosecutor.
is people that believe
hold on,
stupid
hold on.
shit.
A
That's my definition.
conspiracy is a crime. A conspiracy is a crime of a group of two or more people.
Not all conspiracies are
theory-
crimes. Not all conspiracies
Look
are
up the word,
crimes.
Brandon.
I could
Look up the word,
conspire.
Brandon.
I could conspire with my friends to give another friend a surprise birthday party. We conspire. That's not a crime.
That's not. No, that's not a conspiracy, Brenda.
Yes, it
it's an
is.
unlawful act.
No, it's not
I
unlawful.
think
to
you're
give
probably
somebody
thinking of the legal term, dude. I think you might be thinking of the legal
Brenda's
version of
right,
it.
Definition of conspiracy. Look it
Well,
up.
here-
The definition of conspiracy.
All right, here's the
conspiracy
definition.
is
I'm
a
showing it on
secret-
screen. It's a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. That's one.
Are
Yeah,
there
and
other
when I read it,
definitions?
it said.
I don't know.
When I read it, it said two or more, a group of two or more people.
Yeah,
An
the
act of
second one- the
conspiring
second
together, an
definition-
agreement among conspirators, a group of conspirators. Oh,
Yeah,
To commit an unlawful act,
Doesn't have
which is
to
a
be
crime.
unlawful.
this is why definition games are not useful most of the time, because
Yeah, I
words have
agree with it.
multiple meanings. So
I like
definition. A word we're using.
I like this. I like this explanation. It says research suggests that conspiracist ideation, belief in conspiracy theories, may be psychologically harmful or pathological, and is correlated with psychological projection, paranoia, and Machiavellianism.
So Brenda,
Oh,
would
I
you
got
be
some.
willing?
I got some psychological documents I could read to you too, Brenda. You want to start talking shit about people?
Where I'm going with this, is they're hijacking the definition of the word, just like they did science. Conspiracy is an actual word. It's been around. I think it comes from Latin, ancient Latin, right? It's a group of two or more people conspiring to commit an unlawful act. The theory, right? The theory is after that they committed the act, the circumstantial evidence that they did go ahead and go through with it. That's where your theory. Without evidence, there's no, even if it's minute circumstantial evidence, there's no theory.
Hey, Brandon, can you bring up the definition of Earth that I just posted, please?
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
seems like, looking at the etymology, it looks like the word is originally used for the concept of evil, unlawful, things like that. It seems like the word cannot be taken away or separated from the concept of illegal or evil, just looking at the etymology and things.
Yeah.
Brandon, can you bring up the definition of Earth that I just posted,
Brandon.
please?
Brandon,
No.
Ruhif has
a
no
lot
part
of-
in this.
A lot of globe believers, right, think that Nathan Oakley is a lawyer and runs his show, and he just for money, and he believes in the globe. Now, does that not make them conspiracy theorists?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's a conspiracy
Exactly.
theory that I go with. I say anyone who makes money from flat Earth is a con man. I am a conspiracy theorist in that regard.
Yeah, every
Yeah, so you're a
crime.
conspiracy theorist then.
Yeah, every crime.
that's fine.
Every crime is conspiracy.
Yeah, of course.
And
Of course
the
I am. Yeah.
detective
So you believe
police
you
committing
believe
a
if the
crime?
government.
Hang on, you guys
So you're
think
saying-
that Nathan Oakley is committing a crime?
So by your own definition, then you believe that to be
words
stupid
can
shit?
have meanings in context. This is something that
You guys think Nathan Oakley is committing a crime?
Oh, they can't, Brenda.
Only when he
No,
beats.
when you say when you say
No, he's
words
not.
can have meaning in
He's not.
context, those
Listen,
words that
how
you
hard-
use to say that have a definition.
How hard
So
is it to
words-
make
Is
pride
it
and
a
get
crime?
zero
Is it a
Words,
crime to
words can have meaning
How
in
hard is
context.
two-year-old?
So I can
If you don't
conspire
answer
with
my
my friend
question,
to throw a
He's doing
surprise
Is it a crime to
birthday party.
stop?
Hey guys,
Right.
can we
One and
just
a half
keep
year
away
old?
from talking about other people that aren't on the panel?
Right. Zero G's the problem is what we're worried about here. So is it hard to go to the fair and make a ride that goes up and down and up and down and up and down like a
You don't want to
rubber
bring up
band?
the definition of Earth, Brandon?
Why would I bring up the definition of Earth?
He's not allowed to bring up any definition.
Exactly.
Dirt.
Because the dictionary says that Earth is a
Definition of
sphere,
dirt.
therefore the Earth is a sphere, jackasses.
No, it's not. Look at the
Hang on,
origins.
hang on.
Right.
Give me a
let's not
second.
argue about
You guys really gonna bite on that?
Evidence I ever
It's
heard.
funny how Brenda likes to dwell on definitions, but she blurs the line when it comes to woman and man, right? That definition doesn't mean shit to you, right?
No, I don't.
So
care
let's
about
not go
that.
there.
Matrix for that.
I don't care about any of this
All over
definition stuff.
everything.
We don't need to make
Dude,
this
you are
personal.
Why are you
campaigning about that
attacking
shit.
his gender?
We're
Her
good.
gender,
We're good. We'll move
sorry.
on. We'll move on. We'll move on.
And that's his gender. I love it.
Sure.
We're moving on.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize, but that
Shannon?
has nothing to
We're
do
moving
Yes,
on.
that's
We're moving
it's
on.
there.
Challenge
Say
to
Freudian
flat
slip.
Parabolic flight. We were
Freudian.
talking about parabolic flight. Go to the fairgrounds, get like a tube
Parabolic.
Yes.
that goes up,
Parabolic.
down, up.
Hello.
You're right. You're right,
Talking about
Demok.
parabolic.
You're
Real
right,
fast.
Demok.
Why?
What?
I'm trying to talk.
Slingshot.
Demok,
Don't answer demo.
It goes
Ignore.
forward and comes back.
Yeah, but we
Real
would have
fucking hard.
you would see two different directions of these forces. You would also see the apexes of that ride. You would see the effect of that, obviously.
You think
Yeah.
he understood one word you said? So I have a
Yeah.
challenge here. I posted a video, and I want you to find the harnesses, especially those who make her necklace float all the fucking time.
So let me ask you a question though.
Very
Do you
good
think
point,
that they can do
Very
all this
good.
wonderful
Necklace,
shit,
though.
put people
Look at
on
that
the moon
necklace.
and fly helicopters
how
on
did they do the
Mars and all
necklace?
this shit you think NASA's
That's
capable of,
interesting.
but you don't think they're capable of the movie magic that we go see every weekend? You don't think they can fake this stuff?
That's not an evidence.
It's not an evidence, it's a
Anything,
question. I'm trying to
anything.
understand what your line of
The-
thinking is.
First of all, I'm sure NASA don't have those capabilities.
Hey, hold on a
because
second.
they are not a filming studio.
Hey, augmented reality.
NASA and Disney.
Kids can use this in their mom's basement. It's not that crazy to think that NASA also has access to this.
Well,
Access to what?
Augmented-
You make it.
For what? 10, 20 years? The technology before that was needed to fake this stuff, they didn't have, so they couldn't just whip up their laptop Windows 10 and bust out.
Yeah, that's why it all looks like
Photoshop
crap.
Yeah, but
Toy
aren't
models,
the
you
same
know, crap, dude.
conspiracy
Yeah,
things
all the old
that
shit looks
the
ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, they were
technology
more
that
like
the
helmets in
military
the 80s.
has is at least 20 years beyond us. Haven't we all heard that? And it's a common saying that the military's had technology at least 20 years beyond whatever the public has.
Right.
Yeah.
We always hear those things, and we're the same conspirators, right? We say that, but then
Hold
we're
on.
turning around saying in the same
How
breath
do you need
that,
technology to
they
fake
don't have that
something?
technology.
That would be a
back then.
lack of technology if you're faking it, right?
Graham, I think you get stepped on because your mic's a little low, but I think I heard what you
That's what
said.
this whole thing boils down to. Did NASA fake the moon landings and fake all the evidence they give us, or not? That's it.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
Because everything else
Yes.
has been debunked.
The preponderance of
No, it
evidence.
hasn't.
the preponderance-
Debunked. The globe has proven itself
No.
worthy,
They have to
and
fake it.
everything else is bullshit.
All right, I can make
Black
declarations
swan-
too. Flat Earth is an obvious conclusion to anybody who takes a good look at it. We don't even need to talk about the globe anymore. NASA lies about everything.
The military will
I'll
not
fight
tell
you,
you
Brandon.
truth about coordinates. The military will not tell you truth about size, shape,
Actually,
orientation.
Carnivore
or
posted that
coordinates.
GIF in the chat of the moon
Think
set.
You can go anywhere on a
fantastic.
globe. Simply
Hey,
fly.
that's a
secret
flat Earth.
mark them for me. Mark
Brandon,
out
can I ask
military
you real quickly?
Well, I think someone was in the middle
Because
of
when you
saying
say
something,
flat
but
Earth, that means that there has to be like Earth-sized planet, right?
huh?
That doesn't move. So what's the extent of Earth?
Who knows, man? We don't know.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, yeah,
How would
we
you
don't
know?
think we know everything.
Figure it out by yourself, teddy bear.
Hey,
Well,
listen,
there
if you
is
need a story for everything and you want to feel like you know everything, stick with the globe.
I got a
'Cause
question for you.
It's not for
Brandon.
you to think outside of the box then.
This is related. This is related to that. This is related. So the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn are two points above which the sun travels, right? On the flat Earth.
They have something to do with the
On the
globe.
globe as well.
Huh?
On both
On the
models.
globe as well.
Yes.
The globe or flat.
So the equator
We need only one.
is
We need
why.
only fucking happen.
Excuse me.
Hold on, Demox.
I just want to complete the sentence, and then you guys can fight. So the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn are the same size, and the equator is bigger than both of them. How is that
How
possible?
did you verify
on a
any
flat-
of that, Brenda?
how is
That
a
is,
flat- how-
that is an
how is that-
opinion based on a
Excuse me,
belief.
I was talking,
and a
you
bias.
moron.
Well,
Shut
you're
up.
not. You're
Shut
just
up.
saying what you were going to say.
I was
It's not
talking.
necessary- we know exactly what you're
I
saying.
was talking.
You just made
Shut
a
up.
statement that you have
I was
absolutely zero
talking.
evidence for.
Let
That's
me
the
finish
very
talking.
thing that there isn't evidence
So you
for.
have to
For that to be the
silence
case,
it because you
you need a
can't
radius
handle it.
value measurement.
You made
shut
a
up.
claim, Brenda.
Be
You made a
quiet.
claim.
I didn't finish.
You did.
You made a claim.
You did.
Finish. No, I didn't.
Then hurry up and
How
finish
do you
it.
account- How do you account
You
for the
are
fact that
finished.
the equator is larger than both the Tropic of Cancer and
You
the Tropic
making
of
the claim
Capricorn?
that it is
How?
is
You know, why
doesn't
don't
prove
you
it
do your
is.
job
Why would
and
we
make
argue
it-
that point?
Simply put, show us what you're speaking about, Brenda.
I would
Tropic
use
of
flight
Cancer
cards.
and the Tropic
you
of
not imagine it?
Capricorn are the same length.
No, I don't
The
like
same
imaginary
distance.
stuff.
So how do you account for that? on
Well,
the flat Earth?
someone just said there that you was that boy or Jew said he used flow charts.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
what
would
flight
use
score
flight
across the
charts
South
to
Pacific? How
plot
many
it, yeah,
flights go
and
across
get
the
the
South
distance.
Pacific? How many flights go across the South Pacific?
Oh no, I don't give a fuck about that. What I'm talking about is
Well, no,
I would
that
use
would be part of the claim, wouldn't it? That would
Right,
be
right.
part of
I
the claim.
could-
Across the South Pacific
I
and
could-
across
All
the Antarctic.
flat Earth arguments have been
Where
debunked.
would flights go from south of the equator north to go north of the equator, then south of the equator again? Whether they just go across the Pacific or across the Antarctica, if they want to stay close to land, they go across the Antarctica.
I could get to the end of my statement, right? I could.
But you don't have a statement. If flights
what I
are
would-
across the Pacific, then your claim doesn't back you up.
So okay, but I can't. You can't refute my explanation until I explain it, right? Perfect.
Well, you're actually
what-
debunking your own
so what-
explanation by
so
not
what-
being able
Let
to
him.
give
Let
a
him.
straight answer.
Let's have a back
I
and
have
forth
to
here. Go
explain-
ahead.
All right. Okay.
So what I would do is I would find flight charts that exist near and or around the Tropic of Cancer and try to stick as close to the Tropic of Cancer that I can. I would then try to find flight charts or flight paths close to the Tropic of Capricorn and do the same thing, all the while sticking as close to that line as I can. Of course, it won't be perfect, but there will be small deviations that we can account for. And then I would also do the same around the equator. We can compare these distances in a complete circle.
You can't.
All three of them.
No, I know what you're saying. No, you can't, because those flights, the flights going around it, anywhere between 2 points that are close to the Tropic of, let's say, Capricorn, like those flights would be something that flies across Australia. You know, they won't be having any flights going from Australia, let's say from Carnarvon in Western Australia to Madagascar in South Africa. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to have that. That doesn't happen. You know, if a flight is going from the Western Australia to Madagascar, it's not going to cross the sea. That's not the direction flights will take. They go across.
Hey, dude! I've flown from Perth. I've flown from Perth to Johannesburg direct across the ocean. I've done it. So that's not true.
May I say something?
Perth to Johannesburg.
Can you confirm
That's not true. I get annoyed when people make these baseless claims. I have done it.
I was gonna say.
How would you back that up?
Brenda needs to demonstrate.
You want to see my passport?
That's been the same before. How would you back that up? Did you feel
special about Perth to Johannesburg? What's so special about that?
Hold on, guys.
Please.
I want to hear that.
Say that again, Brian.
So you're claiming. Sorry, Brandon.
Say it again. You got stepped on.
Yeah. So who was it? Was that Banter Bandit? Who was it that said that there?
No, it was Effie.
Sorry. How would you prove that you flew across the ocean? Because how would you?
I don't need to, Brian. I don't need to prove it, buddy. I did it. I did it in the year 2000.
You made a claim, and you're going to have to prove it. I don't care about your opinion about what you say or what your claim is.
I believe you, buddy.
Because if you flew across the ocean,
do you want to see?
That goes against what aviation says. Aviation says they have to always be an hour from land for safety purposes. They don't fly across the ocean.
Okay, Brian.
And for GPS. That's right. So
you know what I did in the year 2000 better than I do. Okay, cool.
If you're
That's
claiming
cool.
that you flew across the ocean, if you're claiming you flew across the ocean from Australia to Perth to Johannesburg, then you're going to have to support that.
No,
that's something you're
There's nothing special about that, bro.
You can choose to believe me or not. I don't care.
I can fly from Perth to Johannesburg, right? I can fly from Perth to Johannesburg, but it won't be going straight across the ocean.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what to say to that, Brian. I just don't know what to say, man. I did it. Hang on, Brian. I did it. You haven't done it, so I don't know where to go from there.
You claiming to do it and you not supporting it makes you full of shit.
He's beating you over with.
Wow.
Brian's talking about ETOPS ranges, and he's way off.
Sorry, why is Ruhif in here? I've heard these claims from supposed pilots, and I have debunked their claims about going across oceans, and they've had to admit that they lied.
You're talking about ETOPS ranges, and the 60-minute rule was like from the 1900s.
Bullshit.
Fucking someone Google ETOPS.
All these flights aren't going from Australia to South Africa across Europe.
They are.
Okay, get the flights. This man said he's
Let a man hear this.
I'm here, guys. If Ryan ever shuts up, I am here.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, Effie,
Isn't that the reason why the airplanes don't travel through the Pacific? From Los Angeles to China?
They go from Sydney to frickin' Santiago.
No, they don't.
Hang on, let me Google it. ETOPS maximum range.
They also just blip off the radar.
I'm not sure if it's the Pacific
I'd be shocked if they didn't do that. Does that make the Earth a ball because they flew somewhere?
They didn't do it. They don't do that. They don't fly across the ocean.
I didn't say it made the Earth a ball.
The only ocean
Just don't connect dots that aren't there. I just said I flew from Perth to Johannesburg across the ocean.
Airbus A330 has an
About an 11-hour
aircraft.
flight.
Hold on,
About an
Brian.
11-hour flight.
So you get from one city to another.
Brian, you need to calm down.
Brian, I don't understand why.
I'm on your side of this, man. But you just, if you're talking,
Listen. So when there's claims being made and not being supported, it's funny that flat earthers are asking me to calm down. Because, like, where is the support for these claims? How come you're not asking for the support? How come you're not trying to...
We are on your side, Brian. You're just yelling too much.
Yeah, bro, you're screaming at your own family, man. I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm just telling you, I made the flight. Now, you believe me or don't, I don't really care. I'm not having to go at you.
Right?
We're not saying that the fact that he made the flight proves anything, though, Brian.
Brian, calm down.
Yeah, Brian. Oh.
What am I supposed to do? I am calm. I'm just
Brian.
asking a few...
No, you're not.
We're not saying it proves anything. He just said he was on the flight. That's all.
And he's one of the most.
You said, Brian, you said the flight doesn't happen. I'm telling you, I made the flight. Oh, man.
Brian's logic.
I got an idea. Just talk over everything everybody
There's a lot of
says.
flat earthers in here, bro. Just calm down, bro. You're calling out one of the most humble flat earthers on this whole fucking show.
You said honest first, and you then.
All right, so it's anecdotal
No, I
anyway.
said
He
modest.
said that
I
he
said
took the
modest.
flight. So what? So what does it prove if he took that flight or he didn't take that flight?
Well, he can attest to how long it took, the flight time,
Well, what
and then you
flight
guys have to
and
make
what
it work on a flat Earth. You
So
guys have
what?
to
He's
come up with some
not.
kind
Hold
of
on.
map to make it work.
So fucking what? He's not piloting the fucking airplane. He doesn't know what speed is going. Brian, holy shit! It's like you don't listen to other people talking, Brian.
This seems to be the problem because I think this all stems from a proposition of how we can test distances and test Brenda's claim about the equator being, let's call it the longest complete circle, and especially compared to each tropic.
Not the problem.
Brian, let me answer for God's sake, Brian. Give me 10 seconds.
Say that they had something to refute.
Can
that.
the guy finish talking?
And now you have flat earthers telling me that I'm wrong because someone else made a claim that
This guy, Brian, what the fuck is wrong with you today? Nobody said you're wrong. We're saying that they cannot prove or demonstrate anything if you're a passenger on the fucking airplane. Since you're not piloting the airplane, you don't know what speed you're going. You don't know what route are you going. You're just a fucking passenger looking through the fucking window.
You're cutting out.
Finally, he got
I
to
think
where
Pete
no.
could testify that he didn't fly over India. I think
So here's the thing. Brenda made a claim. She said the equator is longer than both of the tropics. So provide your evidence that that's the case.
I proposed a way that we could test it.
Longitudes measured differently.
Right.
Easy.
I proposed a way that we could do it, and even just the proposition.
But you wanna use your model? You wanna use your model?
Wait,
Is
let
that
him
what you're gonna
finish.
do?
He hasn't even said what his way
specific.
is. Let him finish.
Let me be specific about that. I am going to presuppose a globe with the parameters that we understand, and then I will also presuppose a flat Earth, any flat Earth that you'd like. We can test those. These are called hypotheses. So the hypothesis is we're going to take these flights on a globe model with X parameters. The other hypothesis is we're going to presuppose a flat Earth with X parameters. Now we're going to see what the evidence and the data has. We will compare that to each model, see what it either matches perfectly or closer, or what the differences are or the similarities. That's how we test.
Perfect.
Do it.
Who's gonna pilot the airplane? Bio.
That's not a good stance though, because that leaves globe earthers with nowhere to stand. Because all flight simulators, right, and even the way they fly, even if it is a globe, all flight simulators and the way pilots fly are based on a flat, non-rotating, stationary Earth.
No, they're not.
No,
yeah, they are.
Even if it doesn't work on the A model,
It doesn't matter what the simulators show. It really doesn't. And okay, Biodual, that's
Well,
fine.
in order to get
what
your
I was
pilot
responding
license,
to
you
was
need to-
Brenda,
you need
who
to do
made
the
that
flight
claim. So you've come up with a way to test it. which fine, we can get into the details of that if we want to. But what was Brenda basing her claim on?
I think Brenda was presupposing a globe as she knows it. So if the globe is true, then her claim would be true as well. I think that's what she was doing.
So in your
These are measured
experiment, we would
distances, right?
fly a plane along the, which one's in the south, Capricorn or Cancer? I can never remember.
An arbitrary line
Capricorn South.
that we
What's
made
that?
up. It's not really there.
Capricorn South.
Capricorn. Fly a plane between two known points
There are
in
two
Capricorn
flat Earth
and
models.
around the equator, or how would that work?
Well, to be perfectly fair, we don't even have to do the tropics, because any circumference north of the equator, by definition for a flat Earth, would be smaller, a lot smaller than any circumference south of the equator. So we don't have to do the tropics; those are pretty arbitrary. We could just do a circumference north and south of the equator, and we could just compare them.
Yeah. Get solar noon.
But
at any
if
two
the Earth
places,
was
measure
flat,
the distance
wouldn't you
between them.
need
Work out
wouldn't
the
you need the
longitude.
full knowledge of it? If the Earth was flat, wouldn't you need to, like, if there was actually hiding land,
I'll just get
There
the
are
piggyback.
distances.
wouldn't
There
you need
are-
to know about that as well?
There are races. There are races
Does that come with
conducted
2 weeks or
that
1?
circumnavigate Antarctica.
Does it
There are
come with 2 weeks
races.
or 1?
There are ships. There are boat races that
2 weeks?
circumnavigate Antarctica.
Well, we don't have to get into that yet,
Oh,
because that's
okay,
the
yeah.
evidence.
You just measure it over the ground. Right?
That's 65,000 miles, Brandon.
Like tomato
Captain
and
Hook.
pickle.
Look, measure the solar
guy's
noon
got
between
mic open?
Sydney and Perth.
Yeah, just don't let it.
He's ordering Taco
Measure
Bell
the
or some
solar
shit.
noon between Sydney and Perth, right? Number of hours. And we know the distance, right? Compare that to somewhere on the equator. Lines of longitude get smaller in the southern hemisphere relative to the equator. The end.
Unless something's not being calculated right.
Well,
Well,
do you think we can drive from Sydney to Perth and get a rough distance?
Distant map to you
I
Do you
think
think
we
we've
can
got the
ignore-
distance between Sydney and Perth vastly wrong?
from center outwards. Doesn't that sound like an azimuthal equidistant?
Yeah, but there are two flat Earth models that match the globe perfectly. The Lambert
Oh, I'd like to see
conical
them.
and the Pac-Man model.
The Pac-Man model. Holy shit, Ryan.
The Book of Enoch is the Pac-Man.
What was the first one? Lambert something?
Magic. That's just invoking magic.
Pretty much, yeah. What was
No,
the
it's
first
the
one,
Book of
Ryan?
Enoch.
The Lambert conical. It's got the
Conical.
It's the one. Watch MC Tunes debate with Chris. What you call it? It's like 3 days
Lambert
ago.
conical.
It was Tuesday.
Actually, they should watch your debate, Brian. You should promote your debate with McToon.
Yeah, I got to upload it. But yeah, it's on MC Tunes for Tuesday.
You completely
So,
and
the
utterly
Lambert
embarrassed
conical.
yourself.
I'm
Yeah,
seeing
you
some
think
have
so?
two pieces. Is the Earth in two flat pieces or two flat conical
Brenda
sections?
just said I embarrassed myself. The definition of embarrassment with lips. It's fucking projected.
You can't go by definition with these people, remember?
No, we
On-
can, but
on this Lambert
Ruth brought up a very good example of Earth definition. So, pick and choose.
Yeah, but if you go with Earth
definitions are meaningless,
definition, you
people.
got to do what I did with conspiracy and go to its origin. You'll see that Earth is translated into English and it has an origin, right? And if you go to its origin, it's not a sphere.
It's
We
pronounced.
don't care.
So keep going.
Yeah, correct.
And just quit when you want.
Dictionary.com,
Do the
the
same thing
Earth
you
is
did.
defined as having a polar radius and a equatorial radius.
I know one thing for sure: a
depends on
dictionary
where-
is not
where you
going
are.
to resolve this.
Translation.
Yeah, correct. How many times have I said fucking definitions are meaningless? No one's going to
Oh,
win an
really?
argument on a
Well,
definition.
if definitions are meaningless,
Correct.
then
We
say
have to
flat Earth.
agree.
Say flat Earth using the Chinese language.
I don't care.
Huh?
We have to agree
Well, then they're not-
amongst
they're not
ourselves
meaningless.
what words mean. We
Well,
have to agree.
Words
Ruth,
are
can you,
your
um,
language, dude.
Can
That
you
is your
screenshot-
language. That's
can you
what words are.
Can you screenshot the two models?
The only way we're
I,
communicating because we're using the same words and we know the definitions of them. You fucking
I'm
moron.
very lazy. I'm very lazy, and I'm on my phone. But I know you're looking at them. So
The definitions of what?
Oh no, not definitely the two models.
I'm gonna ask you to draw. I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you to draw a line of 3 inches. Then when you draw it, I'm gonna say you're wrong. Then you guys say, but I'll draw it. I'm gonna say, but that's not my definition, right?
No, yeah, that's fine.
Definitions do matter.
Well said, man.
All right,
Well
so
said.
bio, I've just put a what's it called? Lambert conformal conic projection. So my question with that one is, how do you get from Sydney to LA, a flight which I've done a dozen times? Do I fly across China and Russia?
Just like he said, he changed the definition.
I don't know what you. Hold on, guys. Let me answer him. We don't know, Ruhip, since we don't know what that means to you, since meanings don't matter.
What you said has no meaning. No definition of the word.
We have to talk some more to figure out what we mean when we say a
on a
certain word.
globe is what we mean is a sphere.
Right?
On a
Dictionaries do not prescribe meanings. They
See,
describe
I think
how
the
people use words.
biggest problem with flat earthers and globers is their discernment of circumstantial or hard evidence, right? Because I have hard evidence. I have hard evidence that NASA
Would a photograph
is
be
faking
hard
images.
evidence? Would a photograph be hard evidence?
Hold on a second. Let me finish. I have hard evidence that NASA is faking images of the Earth.
No, you don't.
That doesn't. Let me finish, Brenda.
Well, you pause.
That doesn't mean. That doesn't mean. I know the shape of the Earth by their fake images, but I have hard evidence that they're faking images of the Earth just by the epic discover dark side of the moon. Just by that one alone.
How is that fake?
If anybody wants to put that, if anybody wants to share that on their screen, I can prove to
Fly
you.
any route on a globe to get to any route. There is no.
Okay, I'll explain it to you, Brenda. I'll explain it to you. When we're standing on the Earth, and we look at the moon appears to be a certain size, right? It varies. You get the supermoon and shit like that, but it appears to be on average a certain size. But when you go to the epic discovery dark side of the moon, it's further from the Earth than when you're on the moon, right? Because on the moon, the Earth looked like the moon does from the Earth. But the epic discovery, when it shows the moon go in front of the Earth, it shows that if you were standing on the moon, the Earth would look. I'm gonna use a word that doesn't.
James, listen, the scales are correct. They got the scales correct in those photos. Oh, listen to me. They got the scales correct in the epic photos or images, whatever they are.
Hold on.
The scales are correct. That is not a flat Earth proof. It is not a proof of fakery.
Brandon,
I've taken
when
the
they were
shots
in
myself.
when
I've
they
simulated
were,
the shots myself. It's not evidence.
When they were in the moon,
Brandon,
when they were in the moon, the Earth was. When
guys
they
ain't
were in
letting
the
me
moon, the
finish.
Earth.
What am I comparing it to, Brandon?
Show me the
What image am I
comparison.
comparing it
Yeah,
I'm comparing
they
it
got
to.
the scale right. They got
Hold
the
on,
scale
let
right,
me
but they-
finish, guys. Fuck, please. I'm comparing
I'm
it
trying to help you.
the image of the Earth from the moon.
I know what you're
Bro,
comparing.
you're not up to date with this. I'm trying
And
to
that's
help you.
Okay.
intuitively,
Now, when you're
it
looking at
seems
the
like
epic
one or the other has to be incorrect. It's not.
Yeah, yes. Because when you're standing on the moon in the late 60s, right, and then they give us the Earth image, right? It looks the size of the moon does from the Earth.
Yes.
But on that epic discovery one, the dark side of the moon, the Earth would look intimidatingly, breathtakingly massive.
No.
Listen,
Set them up
man,
at
the whole
scale.
thing.
Set them up at scale yourself and take the pictures. That's what I did. All right. They're not that stupid that they're going to, even if they're faking it, put something out that is grossly wrong.
But how come the Earth looks bigger on those pictures, Brandon?
Set it up yourself. Anybody who questions this, I can drag up the photos that I did a long time ago. I set it up at scale.
Yeah, can you do that? I want to watch it.
Up to date, y'all. Let me get you
I know what you're
pictures.
saying by it alone, Brandon. The epic discovery photo all by itself
direction
the
doesn't
Evan
make
discovery photo all by itself does line up. But when you compare it to the 69 moon landing, it doesn't.
It's a composite from other data sets overlaid on a blue marble.
No, it's
okay?
not. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
The
So is
Epic one.
Himawari. Himawari and Epic
No, it's
are
not.
overlaid
No,
on the
Epic is
2004
not.
NASA blue marble. They
No,
don't
it's
even
not.
deny
We
it.
need 4 of the fastest
my
jets
discernment
to
is
go
hard evidence.
from a center
Who
focal
said
point.
no, it's not?
One
You don't
from
even
north,
need to go there. The moon looks CGI.
Cloud? Are they
Yeah,
taking the cloud
I
cover
mean,
too?
they look
around the
absolutely
world.
fake.
Epic's a fucking million miles away.
We need 4 Blackhawks.
You guys don't need to argue
Whatever
about
they
this,
call
guys.
Blackbird.
You don't need to argue about this. The moon looks CGI.
Look,
D-Mox. It
even-
looks so CGI.
Even
Yeah, I wasn't talking
Even
about
But
Rob-
I've been down that argument.
even Rob
That's why I
Skiba
went to
did
mine.
saying the, no,
And
the moon
Brandon's
was
right. In the Epic Discover picture alone, he's right. It adds up. But when you compare it to the moon landing, the Earth from the moon, it doesn't add up. That shit don't add up.
You should research how lens work.
Show us the
what I would
comparison.
say
You
is-
might be right, James, but I don't, from what I did, the analysis I did, there isn't a problem. They got the
Why?
scales right, but let's see what you come up with.
Yeah.
All right. I
why
want
is
to
the
see that,
moon-
Brandon,
why is the
because
moon dark?
You're all
no,
ignoring
I want to see that because Brandon, from the moon when they took the picture to the Earth looks the size of a quarter, right? On the other picture, it looks bigger and it's farther. So I don't
Have you
know.
ever used the camera?
It's all a matter
Yeah.
of the
A lot of time.
listen.
Angular
It's
size,
the
people.
distance. It's the relative distance
49
between the
minutes.
two objects and how much they're
Hard
zoomed in.
evidence in my
That's all it is. It's just I did it. I recreated that photo. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, but BioGeo posted it. And
Thank
I
you,
think that's Rob Skiba's.
Yeah, if you scroll up, 49 after the
49.
hour,
Yep.
it'll show that it's a baseball and a larger circle, blah
Yeah.
blah.
Now my question is,
Yeah, that's
why is
essentially the same
moon
thing I
dark
did
in
too.
that photo?
Nice one.
And you
Why is
used
the moon
the
dark?
zoom that they used, right?
Well,
Same
not the
cameras?
exact camera, I'm sure, but it's the same concept, right?
But the same zooms. You know the zooms that they used.
Well, look at this comparison right
We're
here.
just comparing relative angular sizes.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Well, you got to have the aperture. I know. I see what
No,
you're
you
saying on
don't.
Zoom. That could.
We just
could
have to
set that
compare
up. He's
relative
right.
angular sizes. We know where the Discover
Bullshit,
satellite
dude.
is. It's in a
Bullshit.
Lagrange point.
The further you
It's on
get
an
something
overlay
away
anyway. It
from-
doesn't matter. It's
the
an
further
overlay.
you get away from an object, it appears smaller. The only way you're going to affect that is with, like Brandon said, zoom, which is aperture. You got to know the zoom in order to make
No,
a
you
claim
don't.
one
You
way
need to
or
know
the
the
other.
distance and
No,
sizes.
you
That is
would-
all.
I mean,
No,
that
no,
is
no,
true.
no.
Come on, at least you guys
No.
gotta give him that. That
Even
is
when
true.
you zoom in, even when you
I
zoom
gotta
in,
agree
it's
with
gonna appear
James.
smaller.
I got to agree
If
with
you-
James because the 1972 photo, it's a tiny little Earth on the horizon in the Epic. Although it is an overlay, an admitted overlay, it's got a big old moon, which looks like the nose to a
That's a
fucking
lie,
Earth.
Brandon. That's a lie, Brian.
So I got to back James up on that.
The Epic.
But
we have to know
Brian,
the
can you
zoom.
see it on the screen right here? Here, somebody recreated it.
No, I
This is
can't-
the
I
same
can't
thing
see it,
I
Brett.
did.
I
Okay,
I'm
can't
watching
see
it. Yeah.
it's in the Discord. This is the same thing that I set up because I thought it looked funny, just like everyone else who looks at it. And I
Roger
set
that.
it up
I'll
and I
take a
go,
look
oh
at it.
shit, yep, nope, that makes sense. It's just a matter of perspective. It really is.
I believe it. They claim
You
zoom
gotta-
or some shit.
But you gotta know the zooms, though, Brandon. That
I
is
don't
a
think-
fact.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
think
saying.
you do. I don't think you do.
Yeah.
The
No,
only-
without knowing the zooms, all you're left with is the knowledge of what I'm using.
The zoom
Right, hold
doesn't
on,
change
but
the
you
relative
use that
size of
knowledge.
objects from the distance. You
without
can't
knowing
have
the
two
zoom.
objects in the distance
No.
and change their size relative to each other with zoom, can you?
No, you're right.
That's how
It
you're
has to be
doing,
done
right?
with- Yeah, but
That those
but in order-
two
in order
pictures
to
are not
make
the
s-
same
How do
zoom.
you know that they line up? How do you know that, like you said, you made sure that they line up? How do you know that they line up if you don't know?
This isn't globe evidence. All it is that you're concerned.
No.
with the perspective
It's
of
the fake
picture.
image.
Okay,
That's what I said from the start. It's a
the
fake
image can be
image.
fake. The image can be fake. That's fine. The point is
That's
the
hard evidence.
perspective. The perspective that you're questioning is possible easily. Now we can debate the credibleness of the picture itself, but that effect is easy to do and reproduce. That's all.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
just
pull
to-
up
just
where
to be
it was.
clear, I think that this
Overlay.
picture
I gotta
here-
go pull it up. Nobody's heard this. It's an overlay. I gotta go pull it up. Am I the only
No.
one here who knows that it's a fucking overlay?
Brian, we've heard
it's
that.
an
We've heard that before. Listen,
CGI.
just to clarify, I think that this picture right here is 100% fake. All right, there's no way to validate it either way though. It's fake or real.
Right.
But it's not wrong because of the relative size of the moon and the Earth based on their model. They didn't fuck their own model up when they made this image, however they did.
Right, exactly.
And
The picture could be fake, but the effect.
Are you
is a
posting
real
this in a journal, Brandon?
I think it's safe to say the picture looks very fake, but the angular size they got right.
Yeah.
Why do you say it looks fake?
No, I'm talking about the comparison of the two
Just
images.
intuitive.
I can agree with that. I
Awfully
mean,
CGI.
The illumination.
Yeah, I mean, this
of
looks
the
fake
moon
as hell. Look at this thing.
It looks dark.
Anyway.
It looks awfully CGI, but they did a good job.
Looks like you're playing a video
Like,
game.
what I think people say is that
Oh,
when
Roadhouse.
images are
You're
really
charming.
crisp and clear, they look fake. All right, because they're used to seeing images from within Earth's atmosphere. You know, you have like hazy shit, and the atmosphere interferes.
Hey, is that Rui? Is that like it's real because it looks fake? Is that?
Well, there's no.
I'd say when the moon
there's no
looks like a
attenuation
clown
or
nose.
anything.
When you see the two eyes of Earth and
that's
the mouth
just a
of
claim you
Earth
can
and
make.
the,
There's
and
no
the moon is the
verification
clown
for
nose,
that.
it would make you all useful idiots.
Eh?
The
You've never
discernment
seen
is
the
there.
clown face. You've never
I'm not
stopped the
saying you're
moon right
wrong.
there.
It's just
You've never
intuitively
seen a video.
it looks pretty CGI, but who knows?
Yeah, Rui,
because
if
it
you
looks
never seen
perfect,
where you
right?
stop the moon right in the directly center frame of the Earth, and it looks just like a clown Bobo.
I can kind of see it. Kind of. Sad clown.
Yeah, that's them laughing at you, bud.
Yeah, sure. Just like the dog on Pluto.
That's called pareidolia.
Yeah, at least you noticed that. Thanks for humbling yourself and at least acknowledging the dog on Pluto and the clown face and shit. Brendan would be like, "What? I don't see a clown face. I don't see an alligator cloud."
It's called pareidolia. It's not really there.
The dog on
So
Pluto
you're saying
is
that you can
some pretty
replicate-
amazing pareidolia.
Brandon, you're saying that you can replicate using Zoom, where, like in the photo of the Earth from the moon, all you see is a tiny bit of the moon, like just a tiny bit of the moon, right? And then on the other one, you see the entire shape of it, like you see the entire, and then some, with the Earth bigger than it.
Yeah, you can replicate
Like it's
this.
in the center of the Earth.
That's what this person right here has done. That I'm sharing
Yeah,
on
you
my
gotta see
screen.
why I posted in general, basically Pluto superimposed over Pluto with like supposedly like whatever that is on Pluto. Exact same shape.
Yeah, I could show you.
I really want to hold on. It sounds like you're making jokes. Hold on. I really want to understand Brandon here.
Okay. Yeah, I said.
where-
Can you see
are
this?
you
Can you see
posting-
these
yeah,
pictures,
what James
James?
is saying.
James, I've been showing them for like 20 minutes. Can you see them?
What he's saying,
sorry,
though, what
man.
he's
I'm
saying is
sorry.
you got a portion of the moon in a tiny Earth. In other words, you didn't even get they didn't even get the entire moon, just a portion of it with the Earth in the background. But then what he's saying is, you got the whole moon with bigger Earth. Like, I understand his questioning, but I see what Brandon's saying. I'm going to call neutral on this one. It is suspect, but it would be suspect if they couldn't even get the fucking math right.
I can concede that too. I concede too. Yeah.
Now this is a pretty amazing. If this is just pareidolia, this is an amazing coincidence.
Balls
Has
are
anybody
for game.
confirmed that this picture on the left that is Pluto, is that an official NASA picture?
Official.
I
That's
confirm
straight
that
up.
all the balls we see in life are used for football.
That is a great question. We should investigate it.
They're
Yes.
used for
We should
games.
investigate
Balls,
it.
I
fingers
think
are
it
for
is.
games.
I think it is.
So this is called priming. Priming is when you prepare somebody to see what you want them to see.
That's
So
Voyager.
why is Disney? Well, hold on, and this is not priming. Why is Disney the top contractor? of NASA?
Yes, it is an official photo, Brandon. Yes, it is.
Kind of it is. You can see the same thing in the clouds, guys.
Like
Yeah,
the jack-o'-lantern sun
It's not
on
priming,
Halloween.
Brenda. Brenda,
She's
it's
got
not
a-
priming.
All those things are rich coming from you, Brenda.
Can
You
I
guys
ask?
bite on what she says every time. Just fucking ignore her. But
Yeah,
if this is some
About every 4 Halloweens, we get the jack-o'-lantern sun. And then
Which
what we got was the
direction
red, white, and blue constellation.
Ah, fuck.
Hello? Hold on. Can anybody hear me?
All right, I'm calling it a day. Anyway, hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Like I said, wasn't my intention to bring up the subject of the Challenger disaster to hurt anybody's feelings if their family member died in that event. If it was real, God rest their soul. Anything coming from the government, especially a large cultural event like that, is open to be questioned. We start coming up with excuses for why we can't talk about things or we can't question things, then we're starting to let people have control over our thoughts and our speech. So if you think that it's wrong to bring it up, you don't want to talk about it, turn the fucking video off. Go watch something else. Go listen to something else. No one is forcing you to hear it. It's not hurting anybody to talk about it. It's just a discussion. I don't think we reached any conclusion on anything, but it was a good discussion. So anyway, we'll see you tomorrow night. I don't think we're going to do Friday night fights. I'm kind of sick of it, to be honest with you. So we'll figure out something else to do. Maybe one-on-one debates where I pull people into the other room and let them go at each other. And, anybody that wants to have a discussion, I'll just pull them in there and we'll come back to the main room. But it's just too many people talking at the same time. Even tonight when we had 30 people on there, I'm thinking to myself, maybe it's time to limit the number of people that we have in the live chat to some lower number because there's just too much over talking. So I'm thinking about that, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, there should be a show tomorrow night. I don't think anything is going to keep me from doing a show, but we'll see. And have a good night. Flat Friday, says White's World. Flat Friday. Yeah, I'll think about that. It seems like people go quiet if there's nobody to argue with. The last couple of Fall-Free Wednesdays, or whatever the hell I was calling them, people kind of went quiet. It's like, well, how many of you guys are here to really have a discussion? Because I hear that sometimes. We need time to just have a discussion. The ballers are just distracting us. But when the ballers aren't here, people are quiet and they don't have anything to bring up. Now, the ideal thing is somebody comes up with a presentation or has something prepared and they bring it in. That would be ideal. So if you're out there and you have something that you'd like to discuss on the show, we'll bring you in and you can go through it one-on-one or with the panel or whatever. That would be worth it for sure. But didn't seem to go over too well the last couple times. Anyway, I'm blabbing on. I'll let you guys go. You guys have a good night and talk to you later.